oh dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Speaking of funerals, listen, I'm a big fan of Anthony Yarde. Is this potentially some of the worst top-level matchmaking you've ever seen? Anthony Yarde versus Sergey Kovalev. I wouldn't call that bad matchmaking at all. I think Sergey Kovalev was a faded champion who had been knocked out 3 times in his last 5 fights prior to fighting Anthony Yarde. He'd been knocked out about 3 months before he took the fight with... Actually, no, excuse me, that's not correct. He was actually after the Anthony Yarde fight. He was knocked out by Canelo Alvarez. But nevertheless, yeah, Sergey Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde. I never really saw that as terrible matchmaking because the other champions in the division, I think at the time, were Beterbiev and Kovalev. Kovalev was a faded champion. He'd been beaten 3 out of his last 5 fights. I mean, he'd been knocked out by leader Alvarez a couple of fights ago. So he was clearly a spent force, and I thought that was an educated gamble. And you saw Anthony Yarde nearly get Kovalev out of there. And I think it was round 8. And in the end, Kovalev's class and experience told him, and he was the one who stopped Anthony Yarde. So I didn't have much beef here with the Yarde versus Kovalev fight. I didn't think that was like a massive mismatch, right? Because of Sergey Kovalev's had been knocked out before in previous fights. It looked like he was on decline. Breaking news. Bob Arum has revealed that Artur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde is a done deal to take place in October in London for the WBC, IBF and WBO light heavyweight world titles if Beterbiev wins his unification versus Joe Smith Jr. tonight. Yarde will be ringside in New York. Wow. Out of 10, how much of a mismatch would you rate this out of 10? Yarde versus Beterbiev, allegedly a done deal for October in London. Out of 10, how much of a mismatch would you say that fight is? If you haven't subscribed yet, or if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button. If you do not, I will be sending my enforcer, Dougie Joyce, around to your house to threaten you and bully you into doing so.
What's going to happen? I was dead. You're dead.
So make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now, for me, let's have a look at what the comments are saying. Chris is saying it's an 8 out of 10 mismatch. Neil Sinclair is saying it's a 9.8 out of 10. Seconds at 98 is saying it's an 8 out of 10. He's got a puncher's chance. I have to be honest with you. I am absolutely shocked that fight's going ahead, you know. I am absolutely shocked that fight is going ahead. That they're going to put Anthony Yarde in the ring, yeah, with a possibly prime Artur Beterbiev. You know what? I'm just going to sit here and pray that Joe Smith either beats Anthony Yarde, yeah, or that Joe Smith either beats Artur Beterbiev, or that, you know, Joe Smith Jr. takes something out of it, takes his soul. Even if he loses tonight, yeah, I'm hoping that that Joe Smith Jr. takes Beterbiev's soul tonight, because I love Anthony Yarde to bits. I've been a big fan of Anthony Yarde. I'd love it if Anthony Yarde beat, yeah, Artur Beterbiev. I'll be rooting for Anthony Yarde to win that fight. I'm rooting for Anthony Yarde to win all of his fights. If you watch when Anthony Yarde fought Lyndon Arthur and we did a live on here, which was listened to by Tunde Ajayi. So Tunde's aware of this show. I'm not sure if he's the biggest fan of this show, but Tunde's aware of this show. But I have to be honest with you and real with you, yeah? I have to question the matchmaking. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. It's not just Frank. It's Tunde, because Tunde is Anthony Yarde's manager, isn't it? So it's not like Frank's going to be strong-arming fucking Anthony Yarde and Tunde and saying, you guys have no choice. You have to be fighting Artur Beterbiev. Like, Frank Warren can't force these guys into a fight that they don't want to take. So somehow they've signed off for this. Now, one thing I will say this puts to bed is, any of this nonsense that Anthony Yarde's a coward and Anthony Yarde's a ducker, that just needs to stop. Would you agree? Press 1 if you agree, press 2 if you disagree. Shout out to those individuals who tell stories about Anthony Yarde ducking, who is he ducking? He's ducking Jose Burton. Do you remember that? Anthony Yarde is ducking Jose Burton. Do you remember that? He ducked Jose Burton, but he's going to sign to fight Kovalev and Beterbiev. Can somebody explain that to me? Can someone explain to me how Anthony Yarde's afraid of Joshua Buatsi, but he's signing to fight Beterbiev? I just want someone to explain that to me. Anthony Yarde's scared to fight Joshua Buatsi, but he's signed to fight Beterbiev. Jesus fucking Christ. It just goes to show you, yeah, that even though Anthony Yarde is going to get his head clean taken off in this fight here with Beterbiev, it goes to show you that a lot of the people who talk about cowards and duckers, they just don't know what they're talking about. Remember that? Anthony Yarde stacking Hosea Burton. Anthony Yarde don't want to... look, you guys think I'm making those stories up. Those stories are true. I mean, Anthony Yarde ain't ducking nobody. Look at this, look. Remember this one? I'll get it up. I'll get it up right now. Anthony Yarde ducking Hosea Burton. And Hosea Burton actually walking up to Anthony Yarde like Anthony Yarde won't fight. Look at this. Shout out to Hosea Burton. Do you remember this one? Look. Let's make the fight happen. Hosea Burton telling Anthony Yarde. Do you remember this? When Hosea Burton went up to Anthony Yarde and Tunde. And people were saying, look, Yarde's shitting it. Hold on a minute. Yarde's shitting it from Hosea Burton, but he's going to get him with... If I said to you, Beterbiev is the most dangerous puncher in boxing, would you agree? Yes or no? With Wilder... Okay, other than Deontay Wilder, if I said to you, Beterbiev is the most dangerous puncher in boxing, press 1 if you would agree, or press 2 if you disagree. Let me know about that. I can't think of too many. I could be wrong, but I couldn't think of too many more dangerous fighters in boxing than Artur Beterbiev. I mean, the man should come with a fucking health warning. Artur Beterbiev, yeah, should come like a health warning on the back of a pack of Marlboro Lights. Right? That's what Artur Beterbiev should come in with. Artur Beterbiev needs to come in, yeah, with one of these fucking warnings, like a pack of Marlboro Lights, innit? Look. Like one of these. They need to put these on Beterbiev fights. Do you know what I mean? The man is dangerous to a man's health. He's extremely dangerous. Who's more dangerous than Neil Sinclair? Just out of interest. Who are the names that I've missed out that are more dangerous than Beterbiev? Alistair Ninian says, isn't he the only one now with 100%? Nobody's ever gone the distance with Beterbiev. Nobody. Nobody has ever gone the distance with Beterbiev. Nobody's ever gone the distance with this man in a professional ring. So, even though Anthony Yarde and Tunde Ajayi clearly have a death wish, in my opinion, and like I said, I like Tunde Ajayi, I've got no problem with Tunde Ajayi. I've spoken to Tunde Ajayi very, very briefly offline on a handful of occasions over the past couple of years. I've never had a bad word to say about Tunde Ajayi, but I'm just being honest with you, yeah? I have to fucking question this matchmaking. Because how do you go, yeah, from going life and death with Lyndon Arthur in a fight to 2 fights later you're jumping in with Beterbiev? I'm sorry, man. Seconds out 98 says, not many Brits or Yanks would dare to travel to Russia to fight Kovalev. Harvey Chan thinks the only fighter that's more dangerous than Beterbiev is Inoue. Not bad company to be in. Seconds out agrees, he thinks Inoue. Beterbiev is a grind you down style of puncher. Wilder and Inoue are the most spectacular one punch. But I'm talking about the most dangerous. I mean, Beterbiev is dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Beterbiev is like... Our fight is the same again after they get... I don't know, man. Beterbiev is some kind of dangerous fight. But anyway, it is what it is. But you would agree with me that Anthony Yarde is getting into one of the most dangerous... He's fighting the most dangerous guy in his division, and I think he's fighting one of at least the top 3 most dangerous guys in the sport. In the sport. Look at this. Look at this stuff. Look. This is how stupid these people are. Look at this. Look. Remember these comments? These are comments from back in the day when Yarde was running from Burton. Look at this. Look at this. Yarde looks shook. He don't want that work. There you go. Just looking back at some of these classic IFL TV comments. These dudes in it who love calling other fighters cowards. Look at this stuff. Yarde. Man, we're just quickly looking back as when Yarde was scared to fight Hosea Burton. Look at this. Look. Yarde looks shook. He don't want that work. This is the same Anthony Yarde, yeah, that according to breaking news has signed to fight Artur Beterbiev. But he don't want that work from Hosea Burton. Yo. You see how fucking stupid these IFL TV commenters are? Oh, he looks scared. Oh, he looks scared. He looks scared. I can hear it in his voice. I can hear it in his voice. Just shows you how stupid people are. Look, Anthony Yarde It's a terrible, terrible piece of matchmaking in a fight that he has next to no chance in. By the way, if Anthony Yarde wins the fight, Tunde Ajayi is the greatest coach that ever lived. I'll tell you that now. If Anthony Yarde beats Artur Beterbiev, then I don't give a shit what anyone says. Tunde Ajayi is a better coach than Emmanuel Stewart. I don't care what anybody says. If Anthony Yarde beats Artur Beterbiev, in October, for 3 titles, for 3 world titles, Tunde Ajayi is a better coach than Emmanuel Stewart. And they need to fucking build a statue of, Tunde Ajayi and have that in East London. It is what it is. Aram said he's planning Fury versus Joyce at Wembley in October. We'll talk about Fury in just a bit. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, Hosea Burton got sent to hell by Buglioni. Whatever. I'm just saying. We'll talk about Yarde versus Beterbiev in a sec. But the point I'm trying to make is, for those who are just joining the show, those people who are calling Anthony Yarde a coward. Anthony Yarde's a coward. He's scared. He's a ducker. Like these muppets who were saying that he was scared of Hosea Burton. Well, how stupid do you look? Because how does someone who's scared of Hosea Burton sign to fight Kovalev and Beterbiev? Joshua Buatsi is an Olympic bronze medalist who had a hell of a lot more experience in the sport of boxing than Anthony Yarde did. And Joshua Buatsi is fighting crazy. This is what I'm saying about Yarde and why Yarde should get respect. Terrible, terrible matchmaking. And we'll talk about that in detail in a second. But I will say this. Yarde should get serious. He should get credit anyway. But Yarde should get serious credit because Joshua Buatsi is fighting Craig Richards. And Anthony Yarde is fighting Artur Beterbiev. Can you see the difference? One man's getting involved in life and death fights with Craig Richards. And the other man is fucking fighting Beterbiev. Shall I show the footage of let me get this up on the screen. Do you guys remember the footage of what happened when Beterbiev was mentioned to Eddie Hearn and Joshua Buatsi? Hold on. And again, listen. Joshua Buatsi is not ready for it. And Joshua Buatsi probably fight him. I mean, listen, it is what it is. And Joshua Buatsi probably fight him. Joshua Buatsi would fight anybody. But has anybody got the video? I'm trying to find that video here we go. Look at this. I just want to make sure that Anthony Yarde gets the proper credit he deserves for taking this fight, if he takes this fight. Let me show you something. This is what happened, when Artur Beterbiev was mentioned to Joshua Buatsi and Virgil Hunter. This is after Buatsi got in the ring with Craig Richards. Listen to this.
Beterbiev a great fight as well. War.
That's what happened when Eddie Hearn mentioned Beterbiev to Virgil Hunter and Joshua Buatsi. Here we go.
Beterbiev a great fight as well. War.
Why are you going to have brain damage?
It's a great fight, isn't it?
Hey, come on, man. You guys need to
Beterbiev.
You guys need to put some respect, on the name of Anthony Yarde.
Beterbiev.
Sorry, I'm having a bit of. You guys need to put some respect on the name of Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde just signs the Kovalev in Russia. He just signs it. He's like, yeah, I'll fight him. Kovalev in Russia. Yarde's like, yeah, I will sign that. But I want to take Anthony Yarde back in Hosea Burton. He fucking Buatsi. Now Anthony Yarde signing to fight Beterbiev. One more time. Let's have a look at what happened when Eddie Hearn mentioned Beterbiev's name to Joshua Buatsi and Virgil Hunter.
Beterbiev a great fight as well. War.
Don't think you'll be seeing them not take that fight anytime soon. And Buatsi's a dog. Buatsi will probably fight anyone. He's an absolute dog. But it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. So put some respect on Anthony Yarde's name. That guy's taking tough fights, man. Tough fights. I mean, like I said before, I think Frank Warren's completely fucked this one up. What I would have wanted to see, right, would have been Anthony Yarde versus Callum Johnson, and then the winner of that gets a fight with Beterbiev. Basically, anything to avoid putting Anthony Yarde in the ring with Beterbiev. I don't care if you put Anthony Yarde in a rematch with Nikolai Siakocha. Anything to avoid Anthony Yarde being in the same ring at the same place in the same time, as Artur Beterbiev. I do not want that fight to happen. And again, Frank Warren will take a lot of the blame, but in reality, isn't it? I'm not trying to blame Tunde, but Tunde and Anthony Yarde are their own people. He hasn't forced them to into a fight that they haven't wanted. So for some reason, Anthony Yarde says, I don't watch videos of my opponents. Well, we now know that to be true. We now know that to be true because we now know that to be true. Anthony Yarde definitely doesn't watch any footage of his opponents because if he did, he wouldn't be getting in the ring with Artur Beterbiev. He's just not ready yet, in my humble opinion. There's Anthony Yarde's latest video with our good friends at Queensbury Sports. Joe Smith's mum is good looking. So Anthony Yarde right now is taking a piss, man. This man's out there signing big fights. He's about to fight for 3 world titles in a very, very big fight down here in the UK. He's got a shot at becoming he's a couple of fights away from becoming the undisputed light heavyweight champion. And he's out in New York, putting the moves on Joe Smith's mum. So look, all things are good in the world of Anthony Yarde. But yeah, it is what it is. Vanguards of Manhood said, high risk, high reward. Why not take on Beterbiev? Yarde is 30 now and knows. The thing is, if he loses this fight, and let's be honest, it's highly likely he would lose that fight, If he loses this, and by the way, if I'm wrong, absolutely. Listen, if I'm wrong, Tunde will rip my heart out. It's a fact. When I said that Yarde would probably lose to Arthur, right? Tunde came back on the channel and told me, look, you got it wrong. So I know, I'll get ripped a new one. But I'm being honest and realistic. At this moment in time, nobody really believes that Anthony Yarde can beat Beterbiev. It's a question of, how badly would he get hurt? I mean, I'm not being funny, like I said before. You're in trouble in fights with Lyndon Arthur. You don't really need to be getting in the ring with Beterbiev. I would have liked to see him get in the ring with Callum Johnson. What do you guys think? Press 1 if you agree. Press 2 if you disagree. But that's the kind of fight that I would have liked to see. Him and Callum Johnson. Callum Johnson's fighting Mkhitaryan or whatever it is. So, listen. Put him in the ring with Callum Johnson. And then them two can fight. And whoever wins that fight is the best boxer in the UK. And then, and only then, think about this. Let's have a look here. Blah, 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 blah. A few people here tonight think that Beterbiev could be KO'd. Going to be funny as fuck when Beterbiev gets KO'd. I'm praying Beterbiev don't win. I love Anthony Yarde. I don't want him anywhere near this ring. It is what it is. People are crying that we want to see him fight Buatsi. It is what it is. People are asking what TV channel. Who gives a shit about TV channels? Why do you care what TV channel it's on? It is what it is. Let's try and see some more of these prettier name comments. What happens if Smith wins? If Joe Smith wins, this guy thinks it's Smith versus Bivol. Really? Could be. Pulling for Smith to upset. Yarde by murder. Look, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, let's have a look here. I'm just going through some of the comments. There ain't that many people in today's show. I have no idea why. Maybe I'm just becoming a little bit more unpopular. But I thought, we do a live on this because, listen, I was probably going to watch the fight tonight. I'll definitely be watching that fight now. Especially if Beterbiev wins, I'll be hiding behind the sofa while doing it. Yarde versus Beterbiev apparently is a done deal. And there you go. Bob Arum has said he's eyeing a possible Tyson Fury versus Joyce fight for Fury's WBC title in October. Wow, there you go. Hold on. That's definitely worth a title change of the show. See, all this breaking news. All this breaking news is happening as we speak. Just did a show. And there you go. That's a big piece of news. So if anybody wants to talk about that, we can talk about that as well. I want to talk about Anthony Joshua actually as well, but we haven't talked about Anthony Joshua the way I wanted to in the previous show. So we'll talk about Anthony Joshua in a bit. But let me just quickly change the title of this stream. Very, very quickly. If I can edit this. Here we go. Righty-ho. Sorry about this. Oh, dearie me. Nightmare. There we go. Bang. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to change that because if anybody wants to look for Tyson Fury news. So we've got 2 bits of breaking news for anybody who gives a shit, okay? First and foremost, Anthony Yarde, a.k.a. the Lion King. Well, I love Anthony Yarde to pieces, but What happened in the beginning of The Lion King, innit? What happened at the beginning of The Lion King? Mufasa, innit? Mufasa doesn't make it, does he? That's one of the, they say that's one of the saddest moments, yeah, in film history. When Uncle Scar kills Mustafa. Well, that's going to be the saddest moment I've ever seen, yeah, in October of this year, when Anthony Yarde, aka Mufasa, at the end of The Lion King, man, he's going to be getting dropped off the end of a cliff by Artur Beterbiev in the O2 Arena on a BT box office pay-per-view near you. Anthony Yarde, in my opinion, should not be fighting for 3 titles. You're not ready yet, man. We'll go through his resume in a minute. For those of you who are obsessed with resume, we can go through his resume in a minute. But Anthony Yarde, like I said, he needs a few more Nikolai Siakochas. Right, breaking news in the last 14 minutes, as first reported by our mod Harvey Chan, friend of Ben Shalom. Bob Arum has said he's eyeing a possible Tyson Fury versus Joyce fight for Fury's WBC heavyweight title. Right, let me tell you what's funny about this, okay, very quickly, right? And just to say, if you're here, there's only 35 of you in a minute. If you'd like to hit the like button, please do hit the like button. If you don't hit the like button, you know what will happen.
What's going to happen? I was dead. You're dead.
That's what will happen if you don't hit the like button. That's what will happen if you don't hit the subscribe button. In the meantime, yeah, Joseph Parker was supposed to sign with Queensbury, yeah, and fight Joe Joyce, right? We all know this because Frank Warren came on the pay-per-view and did what Frank Warren does. He announced the fight without having it signed. And in true Frank Warren fashion, none of what Frank Warren said came to pass. He said that the fight was going to happen, didn't happen. He said that it was likely that Joe Joyce was going to sign for Queensbury, that didn't happen. So basically, everything that Frank Warren said that was going to happen, didn't happen. Now, why did Joe Joyce go and sign with Sky? I've been getting a lot of heat on Twitter because I was contacted by somebody. Again, I didn't ask anybody about this. I don't give a shit who Joseph Parker's fighting next. I don't care, right? I don't care who Joseph Parker's fighting next. Somebody got in contact with me and they told me, don't know if you're interested, mate, but Joseph Parker is close to fighting Lucas Brown on Sky in September on a boxer card. That's all I was told. Somebody said to me, look, if you're interested, just to let you know, Joseph Parker and Lucas Brown are in talks. And that fight could take place in September on a Sky boxer card. Now, like I said before, who knows what will happen? Things change in boxing very, very quickly. But I have to say, Joseph Parker not signing with Queensbury and signing with Sky Sports, that better not be true. That better not be true. That better not be true. But so watch out for that Joseph Parker news. All right. So it could be. So Joseph Parker's not fighting Joe Joyce, right? And Joe Joyce is fighting Tyson Fury. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? What do you guys think of the fight? I think it's a fantastic fight. What do you guys think about the fight? But do you think Tyson Fury could get himself up for a fight with Joe Joyce? What do you guys think? Could Tyson Fury get himself up for a fight with Joe Joyce? Wilder was a killer, so he had no choice because Deontay Wilder knock you out in one punch. He's the biggest puncher in the sport, right? Wilder will switch your lights off. So we know Wilder, you have to be switched on if you're getting in with Wilder, otherwise it's a wrap, yeah? Dillian Whyte was a big fight. 90,000 turning up at Wembley Stadium. There's been a lot of beef between him and Whyte. Whyte called him a coward, this, that, a lot of stuff. Do you think Fury could get himself up for a fight with Joe Joyce? I tell you what, for me, as a watch, it'd be a very entertaining fight to watch, wouldn't it? You know, because you've got the immovable object in Joe Joyce, never been stopped. Has Joe Joyce ever really been in trouble in a fight? He got hurt and buzzed up by Dubois a couple of times in their fight, but never in any real serious, you know, oh my gosh, he looks like he's going to go type thing. But we'll see. Look, Shadow Project says, no chance he will fight Joyce, no upside for him. Well, the thing is this, right? So people are saying in a minute that Fury wants to fight again. So that's the quote unquote reports. Those are the sources, right? Those are the HP sources. Those are the Heinz ketchup sources at the minute. That Fury wants to fight again, right? Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk still hasn't been announced. They're now saying that that's going to take place, yeah, in the best country for human rights on planet Earth, also known as Saudi Arabia. All right, so Usyk versus AJ2, which still hasn't been announced, is allegedly taking place on the 20th of August in Saudi Arabia. I say allegedly because it's now been a year, almost fucking 9 to 10 months, and it's been 9 to 10 months of AJ Usyk 2's getting announced next week. AJ Usyk 2's getting... How many times has Eddie Hearn said there'll be an announcement next week? There'll be an announcement next week. There's been an announcement next week for the last 6 months. All right? But allegedly, Usyk and AJ, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is on the 20th of August, right? So AJ is going to fight that now. If AJ gets wiped out by Usyk or whatever, so you've got to think, what, 3, 4 months, 5 months between fights? So when would he fight? If he waits for the winner of that, when's he going to be waiting to? Let's see. What's the month now? It's June. They fight in August, plus add on like 4 months, maybe 5, because you know how long these things take to negotiate and get over the line. Plus, you got to have the 500 IFL TV interviews. Plus, obviously, you got to have all the Muppets on YouTube who've never put gloves on. They've got to have their say as well and call everybody cowards and accuse everybody of duckings. Everybody's got to eat their share of the pie. So probably say 5 months, right? So when's that going to be? Like February. So what, you reckon Tyson Fury wait till February of next year and then jump straight into a unification fight with somebody like an Usyk or AJ without having fought in like fucking almost, 10 months? I'm not sure, you know. November, December. Are you mad, Dench? You think Fury versus Usyk could ever happen in November, December? That can't be right. That would never happen. Maybe I've misread that, Dench. Let me know. Harvey Chan says Warren would make that fight 100%. Of course he would. Frank Warren would make that fight tomorrow. Joyce versus Fury. If it's down to Frank, Frank will be doing everything he can to get that fight over the line. It's a big money spinner. He wants to keep Joe Joyce on side. He wants to deliver Joe Joyce a title shot. Joe Joyce is highly ranked in the WBC anyway, right? So it is what it is. You know, and it's just a big money maker for Queensbury. You know, do you think, I mean, I don't really care about ticket sales, but do you think that Joyce versus Fury could do 90,000 at Wembley? I'm going to make a prediction. It wouldn't surprise me if Joyce versus Fury did 90,000. And the reason I tell you why is because Joe Joyce is going to engage in the actual fucking promotion. It's not going to be like Diddy and White, where you've got one guy refusing to turn up, you've got one guy playing fucking silly games, you've got one guy bringing the lawyer on Talk Sport. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be some actual promotion. So because of that, there's a real genuine chance here, right, that they could get this fight out into the mainstream. Because White and Fury never really broke into the mainstream, right? Which is probably why it didn't do very good on pay-per-view, allegedly, right? It never really managed to break into the mainstream. Of course, why would it when you've got one of the guys doing his absolute utmost to not promote the fight? But in essence, right, with Joyce versus Fury, you get the complete opposite. 2 guys, both in-house, no promoter shenanigans. You've got 2 undefeated guys, British guys. Joe Joyce is an Olympic, silver medalist, right? Is he a bronze or a silver? I've forgotten now, right? Because he got robbed by Tony Yoka, right? So Joyce, yeah, is an Olympic medalist. I don't know. What do you guys think? Simon H says it would do 80K at least. Martin Butler says Fury sells out Wembley again, no bother. Listen, I think it's an entertaining fight. You know, Joe Joyce isn't the biggest talker in the world, but who knows? I don't think it's a good fight for Joe Joyce because at the end of the day, Fury... Does anybody here think Fury's going to knock out Joe Joyce? What do you guys think? I'm not sure Fury's going to knock out Joe Joyce at all. So we'll have to wait and see. So what's going to happen to Joe Joyce in that fight? At worst, he's going to get his head pinged off for 12 rounds. But he's not going to be like... You wouldn't think it's going to be anything fucking destructive. It's not like Joe Joyce versus Wilder, right? Where it's like, Jesus, Joe Joyce has a chin of iron, but he's getting in the ring with like a fucking kryptonite puncher. Do you know what I mean? Like, you worry about him, you know, like he really could like get hurt in that fight. It's Fury, isn't it? You know, it's Fury, you know, it's Fury. Fury's going to pepper him up with a jab, make him miss, you know, this and that, and we'll see. So, look, I don't know. I think it's a good fight for Joe. I think it's a good fight for everybody involved, and I think it's a fight that's in-house, easy to make, and generates money. I think there's something in this, especially with Joe Joyce fighting Christian Hammer. I think there's something in this, and that we could be hearing about this very, very soon. Jason Walker says, I think the Saudis may try and get a massive event to rival the Qatar World Cup in December. The undisputed fight between Fury and Usyk would be perfect. Just thought, as Fury said, $500 million. Man, Fury says different things on different days. You know what Tyson Fury is. Tyson Fury says one thing, he says another thing, innit? The guy's practically, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, the guy, he's got problems, isn't he? He wakes up in the morning, one thing's one thing, and next minute it's not. So it is what it is. I don't think we'd see an undisputed fight this year. I wouldn't expect that. But that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. Martin Butler says, Joyce also physically stronger than Wilder from what I see, harder to move around the ring for Fury. Oh. Vanguards of Man had said the Fury uppercut he KO'd White with would have done the same to Joyce, surely. I just have a hard time picturing Joe Joyce knocked out, you know? I mean, Joe Joyce, which punches has he been? Who's the biggest puncher he's been in the ring with? You'd say it's Dubois, right? Dubois. I mean, Lawrence Okole has sparred Anthony Joshua. Lawrence Okole has sparred Dillian White, right? And Lawrence Okole says that Daniel Dubois is the hardest puncher he's ever been in a boxing ring with. That's what Okole said. So it is what it is. Harvey Chan says Joe Joyce got KO'd by Kuzmin on YouTube. Where was that? When did that happen? Did that happen in a WBSS or something, or an amateur boxing? Let me know. I'm pretty clueless when it comes to following amateur boxing on TV and things like that. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I don't think it's a bad fight at all. Let's see what the comment section is. Let's see what Monkle Benson's comment section is saying. They're sighing. Why would you sigh over that? It's not a bad fight. Why are people saying, please, they don't like it? They don't like Tyson Fury versus Joe Joyce. No, sorry, but this is unacceptable. Can't think of anything. What? Wait, really? Wow. What do you guys think about that? No, sorry, but this is oh, it's not going to happen then, because Connor from Twitter says this is unacceptable. Can't think of anything worse. I don't think that's a Wembley fight. Maybe O2 or Manchester Arena. Jesus Christ. Really? They don't like Joe Joyce versus Tyson Fury. Well, I don't understand what the problem with that fight is. What do you guys think? Am I smoking there? I don't know, man. I don't think that's a bad fight at all. Considering the kind of crap that's been served up in the heavyweight division. I mean, what do you want to see? Wilder versus Fury 5 or 4? I mean, I don't understand. Usyk's fighting Joshua. And that hasn't even been announced yet. So Joyce ain't a bad opponent. I don't understand what people are talking about. But you know what Twitter is? Twitter is one of them apps why people just like to, you know what Twitter is, isn't it? Twitter's an app, isn't it, for universal credit, job seekers allowance. Do you know what I mean? If you ever want to know where all your tax money goes, go on Twitter. That's all I want to know. If you ever want to know where all your fucking tax money is going, there you go. It's going right there to Twitter. Job seekers allowance, universal credit. Spend all day on the fucking app talking crap. That's all it is, really. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand why that would be a fucking bad fight at all, considering what's surrounding the heavyweight division. But it is what it is. Someone saying it. Then says people just want the road to undisputed. The road to undisputed. Can you imagine being such a fucking sad bastard, right? That like one of your biggest goals in life is to see two guys make fucking $100 million fighting for all the belts. It's like, look, would it be nice to see? Absolutely, yeah, it would be. But I don't get offense. I don't start taking offense and getting up. It's just bizarre. Like, people on this app are bizarre, isn't it? They get offended and they start, getting really abusive over stuff like this. This guy's not fighting who I want. This is terrible. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. It's like in the grand scheme of life, we've got fucking a war going on. We've got the cost of living crisis that's going on. We've got all kinds of problems going on in this country. People really seem to put a lot of their hopes and dreams into boxing, innit? A lot of them put their hopes and dreams. I just want to see undisputed, really. Jesus Christ, man. I think maybe some people need to go outside and just get some fresh air, innit? It's more to life than undisputed. The road to undisputed. Where's Steve Robinson in all this? Where's Steve Robinson? Does anybody want to see Tyson Fury versus Steve Robinson? Let's get that one on. We can see that fight. I wonder if that's an acceptable fight. Get that on. Why not, innit? Get that on. Let's have a look. Yeah, Martin, but I agree. Fury versus Joyce is a real good fight. Listen, if you've got any more comments on that, let me know. I don't think there's anything wrong with Fury versus Joyce, considering what's out there. Now, before we go and move on to Anthony Joshua, let's just have a look at the Ring Magazine heavyweight ratings in a minute. I don't really ever look at rankings, but Let's humor me for the lols. Let's have a look. Let's see who let's see who Fury's ducking. Ultra Tech Fury's ducking. Let's see who he's ducking. Usyk is tied up with Anthony Joshua. We've already seen him fight Wilder 3 times. Joseph Parker and Tyson Fury will never fight for obvious reasons, and who wants to see that? Dillian White was beating Tyson Fury, wasn't he? Do you remember this guy, Dillian White? Do you remember when it was Tyson Fury was ducking Dillian White? Do you remember that? Bit like when Anthony Yarde was ducking Hosea Burton. Do you remember when Tyson Fury was ducking Dillian White? Dillian was the body snatcher. You're ducking him. The WBC are protecting Fury from Dillian White. Have you ever heard them mention Dillian White again? No more videos about Dillian White. Funny, no more videos about Dillian White are dried up now that he's been beating it. Jesus Christ, man. That's not what real fans are. Real fans stick with their guys, whether they win or lose, isn't it? But not these guys. As soon as their favourite boxer takes a loss, they fucking disappear. I don't know, man. Dillian White, yeah, remember that one? Dillian's got them all rattled, yeah, remember that one? Yeah, Dillian's playing mind games. Dillian mind games are working a treat. Dillian's playing a blinder, not turning up to the press conference. Wow, he's really getting in Fury's head. Mate, didn't throw a punch, yeah? He didn't land a punch for 6 rounds and then got sparked out. No disrespect to Dillian White, because he'd sparked me out as well, but I'm just telling you how it was, right? Yeah, Dillian's playing a blinder. The mind games are working a treat. Yeah, went in the fucking ring, couldn't land a punch for 6 rounds and then got blasted out in our highlight reel knockout. He's number 5 on this list. We've already seen Tyson Fury deal with it. So, look, number 6, Andy Ruiz Jr., who is tied up in a fight with Luis Ortiz. Yeah, remember that? So Andy Ruiz is contractually obligated to fight Luis Ortiz. So Tyson Fury can't fight either of these guys, as far as I'm aware, right? Can't fight Andy Ruiz and can't fight Luis Ortiz because those two have got to be fighting on PBC. And the next one on the list is Joe Joyce. So what's the problem? I don't understand what the problem is. Usyk and Joshua are fighting each other. Wilder's been fought 5 times. Joseph Parker's his best mate. Dillian White got done in 6 rounds. Andy Ruiz is fighting Luis Ortiz. Next on the list is Joe Joyce. So why is this such a terrible fight? Like I said before, it is what it is, isn't it? Like I said before, you're sitting at home on Universal Credit, and it's a hard life, isn't it? You're sitting at home on Universal Credit, and it's a hard life. Better whoop out the mobile phone and start getting infuriated by boxing, innit? No, I just want to feel undisputed. But it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Tom Schwartz landed more punches on Fury than White did. Look. Jesus Christ, let's put this in. Remember this. People are like, look at this. White mind games. Jesus Christ. Exclusive. I just want violence. Dillian White just wanted violence. Look. White's mind games. Look at all this mind games nonsense. Just nonsense. Absolute nonsense on mind games. People talk a lot of nonsense, don't they? And then when they get found out, they sweep it away, innit? It's a good fight, right? I wanted to talk about Anthony Joshua, actually, a little bit more. Oh, God, here we go. Oh, God, here we go. $500 million on the table. Tyson Fury, right, honestly, hand on heart, just says dumb shit to get people wound up. It's like, you know, people get wound up about David Haye, right? You know the David Haye always picks against Tyson Fury gimmick, right? Have people not worked out? I can't believe in this day and age, right? People, grown men, haven't worked out that David Haye's taking the piss. That David Haye's on the wind-up. It's obviously an in-joke. Like, David Haye always picking against Tyson Fury. It's an in-joke. If Tyson Fury fights Joe Joyce, David Haye's going to pick Joe Joyce to win. All right? It's an in-joke. David Haye is a wind-up merchant. David Haye had a fight with his best mate, Joe Fournier, on Triller. For 3-4 million or whatever he got. Remember that? David Haye got 6 figures plus to fight his best mate on Triller and then called out Tyson Fury for a straightener straight after the fight. He's a wind-up merchant. David Haye is a wind-up merchant. He says dumb shit out in the media and then sits at home and gets a hard on while peasants get upset. Exactly, Jason Walker. David Haye, Cole Froch and Tyson are the biggest. They're trolls. They're fucking trolling. They don't believe any of this shit they're saying. But it amazes me how people, every time they fall for it, they get fished for it. And they come on social media and they get really upset and shit. Oh my God, can't believe David Hayes said that. Can't believe that Fury said that. Who do these people think? They get really upset. It's like, dude, do you not know these guys are putting your leg, mate? Carl Froch, what did Harvey Chan say? Froch is the same. Has a sense of humor that people don't understand. I agree, but when it comes to the flat Earth, Carl Froch ain't joking. He legitimately thinks the Earth is flat. I'm just telling you that right now. Like, Carl Froch is a troll, yeah. But when Carl Froch talks about that flat Earth, he ain't trolling. He actually thinks the Earth ain't round. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Maybe we should have a debate with Carl Froch about that. Carl Froch thinks the Earth ain't round. Yeah, listen, Carl Froch is entitled to his opinion. Maybe they should do a documentary on BBC where they fly Carl Froch up to the moon, innit? Seriously, why not, innit? Fly Carl Froch up to the moon, fly him into the star, like they did Jeremy Clarkson. So Carl Froch can hover above the atmosphere, yeah, and see that the world ain't round. These guys are trolls. Look, Tyson Fury to the Telegraph. If I do come back, it will be a sad day for me, and it will be that I've let money overcome my morality because I put achievements before money. Oh my God. But if someone was to put $500 million on the table, I will test that morality for sure. This guy is a clown. Does anybody really believe that Fury's serious about this? I think he's clowning around. Either that, or he's, we know he's, is he bipolar or something? It is what it is with Fury. The guy talks out of his bottom hole, doesn't he? It is what it is, but don't get upset. Let's see the comments. God, like these guys are really like biting on it. If he's really retired, then why is the WBC not vacant? I think nobody believes he's retired. He just wants more money to fight. Congratulations, Colombo. You have solved the mystery. Wow, we got Colombo on the case, man. Jesus Christ. Colombo. Let me get the Colombo intro. Hopefully I don't get done for showing this, man. We get the Colombo intro. This guy has cracked the case. As you can see, yeah, social media is full of, very, very intuitive individuals, as you can see. Very, very intuitive individuals. This guy has absolutely cracked it. Tyson Fury just after more money. There you go. I had no idea. I had no idea that was the case, until that guy cracked the code for me. There you go. Colombo is on the case in the Twitter boxing comments. Joshua said that he boxed Usyk because people think he's a big weightlifter. Oh my, yeah, that one as well. And like, half the stuff that these boxers come out with is nonsense. Like, that one was bizarre, wasn't it? Anthony Joshua claimed he boxed with Oleksandr Usyk because people think he's a big weightlifter. No, he boxed with Oleksandr Usyk because he's a bit of a safety first fighter, and he doesn't want to get involved in a war, and he hasn't wanted to get involved in a war for some, which is fine. Like I said before, it's not my business how Anthony Joshua fights. I'm just saying. Anthony Joshua is a safety first fighter. It is what it is. He doesn't like getting hit on the chin, does he? And nobody likes being hit on the chin. But Anthony Joshua doesn't like being hit on the chin. And when he gets a bit back and he gets hit and he gets hurt in fights, he completely changes, doesn't he? He completely changes. So it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Now, we'll talk about that in just a second. I want to talk about Anthony Yarde and Anthony Yarde. I want to talk about Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk. Before I do, just as the last word on Fury for a quick sec. I don't know what you guys think about all this, but I know this is one of the things that me and Riku really, really disagree on. I think Riku knows a lot more about this story than me. I think some of the points that Riku raised, not on the last show, but in that little debate we had on Fury and Kinahan and all this stuff, I thought Riku made a very, very good point about, why it's really bad for boxing and why it's worse for boxing than like bad judging and things like that. So I thought Riku schooled me on that and made some great points. So I don't have a problem with it. But for me personally, I just think this endless fucking hounding of Daniel Kinahan, and it's a, I'm not going to say names, but it's a couple of people, isn't it? It's a couple of people in a certain country that seem to, be intent on keeping this whole Kinahan thing alive. I don't give a shit about Daniel Kinahan. I don't care. There's loads of dodgy people that are involved in boxing. There's loads of dodgy people that are involved in government as well. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of dodgy people that are involved in government, believe it or not. And I just think, like I said, I just think this whole story, and I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think this whole story, and I think, some of the people on social media pushing this story, really do need to get a life. And that's just my humble opinion. Do you know what I mean? That's my humble opinion, you know. But what we doing online? Persecuting Daniel Kinahan, yeah? Persecuting Daniel Kinahan. And Tyson Fury isn't allowed to enter into the US. Can I ask you guys a question? Is Tony Blair allowed to enter America? Can somebody tell me yes or no right now? Is Tony Blair allowed to travel right now? Has anybody sanctioned Tony Blair for what happened in Iraq? Has anybody done that? Is anybody tweeting about that? Am I right about that, or what do you think? The man's getting a fucking knighthood after an entire country of people was flattened based on evidence that was not correct. Do you understand what I'm talking about? A country of people. Let's have a look. How many people died in Iraq? 1 million people, right? Was there 1 million deaths in Iraq over evidence involving weapons of mass destruction that was proven to be incorrect? Am I right or am I wrong about that? And one of the main protagonists involved is becoming a knighthood. Do I see anything in the fucking Sunday world about that? Or how that can happen? Are these individuals still allowed to travel from country to country as much as they want? Is that all right? But oh my God, Daniel Kinahan! Oh my God, Kinahan! Wow, Kinahan! Oh my God, Daniel Kinahan! Oh, front page news. Everybody associated with Daniel Kinahan. Oh, if you're associated with Daniel Kinahan, you can't fucking go to the US. If you're associated with Daniel Kinahan now, your name should be dragged through the mud. But look at the people that we've got that we're electing in. Look at the people that we've elected as prime ministers of this country. Look at the people that we've had running the fucking country and the stuff they've done. And they're allowed to travel freely, no problem. And they're allowed to go on with no scrutiny. And nobody gives a fuck. And the Sunday world don't chase these people. And there's no outrage on social media, innit? How does that fucking work? Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. It's the he who cast the first stone, isn't it? Why are we focusing so much on Daniel Kinahan? Like, what the fuck? This is getting beyond stupid now. This is getting beyond, and maybe the stuff is all true. Let the authorities handle it, but there's clearly an agenda behind it, and it does annoy me. And it's certain people who shall remain nameless, you know, clearly have a fucking agenda, you know. And I don't know, like, it is what it is, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Yeah, you know what I mean. And maybe that was a bad analogy, but the point I'm trying to make is this, right? Tyson Fury can't enter the US because of his links to Kinahan. But let me tell you something. I can think of plenty of people who are able to enter the United States right now who shouldn't be. That's all I can say. Plenty of people right now who can have access to America who shouldn't be before Fury and Kinahan. That's all I'm saying. They should work down the list, innit? That's my point, innit? Work down the list, innit? But apparently it's all about Kinahan. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at these comments. That's kind of funny. Let's have a look at some of these comments, what they think about the Kinahan thing. I'm completely tired of it all. I don't know what you guys think. I just thought, you know, it is what it is. There you go. There you go, Simon Ancient in Twitter comments. There you go. It's bizarre, isn't it? And I think there's a lot of snitching going on as well, isn't it? I could be wrong, but I think there's a lot of snitching going on as well, isn't it? With people probably drumming up all kinds of links and all kinds of evidence. There's a lot of ratting going on. The thing about social media is, and I'll say this before we move on to AJ, there's a lot of ratting that goes on in social media, which I've never really understood because social media is supposed to be full of gangsters, isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it? Like, isn't social media full of full-time gangsters? I thought all gangsters were on social media. Send me your address, Ultra. Send me your address. Come and meet me for a spar, Ultra. I know where you live, Ultra. I'll knock you out. I thought all these gangsters were on social media, didn't you? I thought all the real gangsters were on social media. So I can't understand how you got all these gangsters on social media calling each other out and saying they're going to fight each other and coming up with these imaginary boxing fights. And then 2 seconds later, these same dudes are putting out incriminating information about other people. Oh, have you seen so-and-so's business records? Have you seen so-and-so's digging up records in company house? Have you seen Anthony Joshua? Oh my God, he used to be in MTK Properties. He's got links to Daniel Kinahan. Oh my gosh, have you seen this person's Have you seen this? So-and-so, he's linked to Kinahan. It's like, hold on a minute, I thought you was a gangster. Which one is it? Like, what are you? Are you an informant or are you a gangster? I'm neither. I'm neither. I'm not an informant and I'm not a gangster. But which one are you? Because one minute you want everybody's address and you want to fight everybody, but then the next minute you're giving out all this incriminating information. So social media is a very, very strange place to me. 72 people in the chat. The numbers are going up ever so slightly. If you'd like to hear my thoughts on Anthony Joshua and Usyk, I'll be giving you some raw and brutal thoughts because I think, we could be seeing the end of Anthony Joshua. I think he beats Usyk, but I think we could be seeing the end of Anthony Joshua's career. And I'll tell you why in just a second. If you haven't hit the like or subscribe, please do. And if you don't hit the like or subscribe, these guys on social media, they're gangsters. This guy, he's a real gangster. And if you don't subscribe, he'll be coming after you.
Watch what's gonna happen now. It's dead. You're dead.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's move on. There you go. Right. Let's have a look at this here. Let's have a look. Dean Chenko says, let me get rid of this. I don't get why all the AJ fanboys want Fury to vacate his belt when Fury's made 2 defenses since AJ. I mean, this kind of talk is not you. One thing I've learned, right, from having conversations on the internet is people don't listen to other people and people don't listen to evidence. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can show people cast iron. I had a chat with somebody the other day, right, on social media, right? And I don't know how we got into this chat, but it ended up going from boxing and it ended up turning into Russia and Ukraine. And I have seen first-hand evidence in the form of a video that I don't know how that video found its way onto Twitter, because content like that should never, ever be allowed on Twitter. So I have no idea how this content, right, got on Twitter, right? But I saw some content, which was some of the worst content I have ever seen in my life. Ever seen in my life of something very, very bad allegedly happening to a young lady by some Russian soldiers, right? Disgusting, right? Now, despite seeing this, I'm not going to obviously, but I had a conversation with somebody who flat out denied that any atrocities were being carried out in the Ukraine. That's all I'll say. They would flat out denying that any atrocities were happening in the Ukraine. And every time I kept sending this person links and saying, not to videos, obviously, but every time I kept sending this person links to news stories and things, this person just would not believe it. It's all propaganda, they were telling me. It's all propaganda. I can't believe you're falling for it. It's all propaganda. It's all war propaganda. None of this stuff is going on. Until I showed them a fucking cast iron bit of proof, which was the first Russian soldier in the Ukraine has been convicted for war crimes. He, whatted somebody's wife and killed the guy. Okay, so he killed somebody. He broke into somebody's house. They killed the guy, and they, whatted his wife. And he's now going to be standing trial in the Ukraine for war crimes. I showed the guy this article, right? Cast iron proof, and the guy goes, "Okay, well, you got me there, but listen, that's just a one-off. 99% of Russian soldiers aren't doing." You can show people stuff on the internet, and they will not. Once they've got their opinion, they will stick to it. They will not think. So, anti-Joshua fans talking about they want Tyson Fury to vacate. As far as I'm aware, look, the only fight that's holding up the heavyweight division is Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. As far as I'm aware, if there are more fighters out there, let me know. But last time I checked, the only fight that was holding up the heavyweight division was Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. And let's just be honest with you, right? I haven't got a problem with Anthony Joshua. I think all boxers who step into the ring are warriors, including Anthony Joshua, yeah? And I know there's been a war and there's been a conflict in Ukraine, but it does annoy me a little bit that, this guy gets beat. Listen, there should have been no rematch clause in the get-go. Like, Anthony Joshua should not have had a rematch clause with Usyk in the get-go. He should have had a rematch clause, and there was no need for a rematch. He was comprehensively beaten and basically on the verge of being stopped in his own backyard. I mean, we've all seen the footage of them throwing the white towel in, right? We've all seen the footage of the white towel being thrown in. I mean, AJ was practically beaten and stopped in his own backyard, right? By all intents and purposes. There is no need for this rematch. There is absolutely no need for this rematch under any circumstances. So that has kind of pissed me off the wrong way, that there should even be a rematch. Usyk shouldn't have to fight this guy again. He's gone in his backyard and he's beaten him conclusively. But because it's Anthony Joshua, we've got to have the rematch because it's Anthony Joshua. Not only have we got to have the rematch because it's Anthony Joshua, but now it's just the amount of time that this rematch is taking. And yes, maybe most of it's down to the fact there's been a conflict in the Ukraine, and I understand that. But what do you guys think? Do you think part of the delay is also because just trying to buy Anthony Joshua time? Press 1 if you agree, press 2 if you disagree. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've got my timelines mixed up. Maybe it's all Usyk's fault, and the reason why that this is all happening is because of what's going on in Ukraine. But to me, I have to say, to me, I have to be honest and say, it has to be, it feels to me like they're just trying to buy time. That's how it feels to me. AJ's taken a loss. Matchroom have got a whole heap of money, tied up in this guy. DAZN have got a whole heap of money that's going to be tied up in this guy. They don't want him to lose. They don't want him to get beat again. Then they're just prolonging it. What do you guys think? That's what it seems like to me. They're just prolonging it. They're just prolonging it. They're just prolonging it. Then this thing happened, like, it's been nearly a year now, and he's a new coach, and he's got a new coach, and he's got a new team, and he's got this, and he's got that. I'm just being honest and just saying, the question was asked to me, there is hypocrisy, isn't it? When it's Tyson Fury, it's holding up the division. But, Anthony Joshua got beat. There should never have been a rematch clause in the first place. He got beaten fairly and squarely. There was absolutely no controversy. It was not a close fight like what I just 1 round or 2 round here or no. For me, it was not a close fight. I had it a 9-3 fight. He was beaten up at the end of the fight, and the towel was about to go in. The towel, according to some footage available on YouTube, did go in. He was out on his feet in that final round. If there had been another minute left in that round, he'd have got stopped. Press 1 if you agree with me. Press 2 if you disagree. If there had been another minute left in Usyk and AJ 1, AJ would have got stopped. He'd have got stopped. So what are we having a rematch for? And then all of a sudden there's a rematch. And then obviously I know we've got problems in the Ukraine. But then, it just seems to be one delay after another delay after another delay. New trainer, new team. Where is it going to be broadcast? Fucking hell. It does annoy me a bit. It does annoy me a bit, Sometimes I wonder if that wasn't Anthony Joshua in the fight with Usyk, would we have got the rematch a little bit quicker? It does seem like they're trying to prolong it to give him as much time as possible. It is what it is. Not a very good look in my opinion. I don't think. I think AJ will win the rematch, but I don't think he's very confident. I don't think his team are very confident at all. Press 1 with me if you agree on that, and press 2 if you disagree. Or I tell you what, we'll split up. Press 5 if you agree, and press 6 if you disagree. I don't think Anthony Joshua's team and the people around him are very confident for him at all ahead of this rematch with Usyk. That's basically the impression I'm getting, That's basically the impression I'm getting. Like, I don't want to be too harsh on the guy because I think what he's done with DAZN is pretty smart. That's my opinion. I think what he's done with DAZN is pretty smart. It's always good for fighters to set themselves up for, revenue streams that exist after they box. So I don't have a problem with Anthony Joshua signing for DAZN. I think on the face of it, although we don't know the ins and outs of the deal, it's a pretty smart. Agreement. He gets to become an advisor. He gets shares in a company that maybe one day will actually start making money and be sold for big money, etc., etc. So look, I have no problem with him signing for DAZN with that respect. But I don't know. Hold on. I don't know. It feels to me like, I wouldn't say cash out is the word, but I do think we're coming to the end of Anthony Joshua, I think he'll beat Usyk, but I think, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he's had a great run. He's done great things for British boxing. We've had some, a lot of big crowds. My only criticism of Anthony Joshua was we never got to see him in any fights of any killers. That's been my only criticism. I've been given death threats and all kinds of abuse for saying that. It's been my only real criticism of Anthony Joshua, that we've never seen him in a fight with a killer. We've never seen him in a fight with a wilder, like a big puncher, someone who can intimidate him or someone who can knock him out in a shot. never really seen him we've never seen him in the ring with the other guy, have we? We've never seen him in the ring with the other champion. You know, we've never seen him in with a Fury, never seen him in with a we've seen him in with a Klitschko, but Klitschko 43 years old and obviously 41 years old and obviously, you know, been beaten by Fury. We've never really seen him in the ring with that guy, with the other guy in the division. Those are my criticisms of him for whatever reason, and people will criticize me for saying that. But I do think we're coming to the end of Anthony. And I think, like I said before, I don't want to be critical of the guy because the guy is a very smart individual who makes calculated moves every step of the way. As he says before, innit? I'm a calculated individual, and I make smart moves every step of the way. And that's fine with that. But you know, the fact that he's signing these kind of deals with the Zone as shareholder or advisor, you know, clearly a guy preparing for life after boxing, which is fine. I don't believe Anthony Joshua has another 4 or 5 fights in him. You know, I really don't. What do you guys think? Yes or no? Do you guys think Anthony Joshua has another 4 or 5 fights in him? I think if he beats Usyk or not, I think he's got another 2 or 3 fights in him. Beats Usyk, beats Fury. That's it, surely. You know, I don't think we're going to see Anthony Joshua lower himself to step in the ring with Joyce. I don't think we're going to see Anthony Joshua lowering himself to step in the ring with Chisora. Maybe one day we'll see White versus AJ too, but I don't see the point in that because Tyson Fury's fucking destroyed Dillian White anyway. So Dillian White, in a minute, no disrespect, is a walking meme. So what does he get from that? You know, White isn't the bogeyman of the heavyweight division anymore. Those people who told those stories about Dillian White being the bogeyman of the heavyweight division have since done disappeared and moved on to the next fighter, haven't they? Which is what they always do, isn't it? It's what they always do, isn't it? They never come on and say, do you know what, guys? All that stuff that we were talking for the last 4 or 5 years is absolute and complete rubbish. And they never say that, do they? Just disappear and move on to the next fighter. And that's what we've seen with Dillian White. So I don't believe Anthony Joshua's got 4 or 5 fights left in him. At all. At all. I think it's like 2 or 3 max. He's made a lot of money from boxing. The biggest money fight of his life is going to be the fight against Fury. Maybe even if he gets beat by Usyk, they'll find a way to make that fight happen because there's simply just too much money involved in that fight. He fights Fury. Maybe if he beats Fury, I don't know, but he beats Fury, he becomes what? If he beats Fury and becomes the first man to beat Fury, he's arguably the best heavyweight of his generation. If he beats Fury and Usyk, he'll go down as that. Why would he carry on fighting? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't see it with AJ. I think we are coming to sort of the end of his career. I think his team, though, is probably, you know, the end is, which is fine. I mean, like I said before, life of a boxer is short, isn't it? But it is what it is, isn't it? Like, you know, it is what it is. And the way his team are going on, you can tell, you know, they know. I feel like they know it's the end because I feel like there's a lot of prolonging it. And I do think he'll come through and beat Usyk. That's my opinion. I think he'll win on points. And I think we'll see I think we're going to see some incredible cards in that fight. That's my prediction for that Usyk and AJ fight. I think we're going to see some incredible cards. It's interesting that Robert Garcia says about, you know, AJ's mental state. I've said it for a while. As someone who suffers from anxiety, I'm pretty sure Anthony Joshua suffers pretty heavily from anxiety. I think he puts on a bit of a front. He's a tough guy. He's a warrior. He's a strong man. There's nothing wrong with suffering from anxiety, but I do believe Anthony Joshua has big anxiety coming into a fight. And I think he suffers in fights where he's in a 50-50. That's my opinion. I think he really suffers in fights where he's in a 50-50 fight. I've always said that. I think if you look at when Anthony Joshua is squaring up with a Klitschko or a Povetkin, and if you look at how he behaves in the weigh-ins and you look at how he behaves and stuff, versus how he behaves when he's weighing up against Charles Martin, or versus how he behaves when he's weighing up with Dominic Brazil. Does it make sense? To me, he behaves very, very differently when he's involved in 50-50 fights. When he's in a fight, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think he's only human. But I just think with Anthony Joshua, when he's in the ring with somebody who he knows can beat him, like he knows in his heart, and all boxers know, doesn't matter what boxer you box at, doesn't matter what level you spar at, the bargain bucket level, first time, second time, third time, whether you've had 50 amateur fights or fought for a world title, right? You get in a ring with somebody and you know a lot of the time, look, fuck me, this is going to be hard going. Doesn't mean that you're going to get hurt, but You could be in the ring with somebody and you just know they're skillful, they're hard to hit, they're quick. You know, you just know, look, this is going to be hard work. You know it. Before you know it, it's not fucking mystery. You know, look, this is going to be hard work. And, you know, you see some guys and, you know, you see them do a bit of shadow boxing or you see them hitting the bag and you think, oh, fuck me, I fancy my chances here. You know, we've all been there. Just part of life, innit? You know, you see it, innit? You see a guy in a heavy bag, you know, comes in, talks a load of shit. I saw a guy to me talking like he was a pro, fighter. I've got this and that. I saw him on the shadow boxing in the mirror, and I knew I'm no good at boxing. And I saw him shadow box once in the mirror, and I thought, you're gonna have a really hard time landing on me, you know. And that's what happened. That's what happened. I'm garbage, but that's what happened. One look at him shadow boxing, I was like, you're gonna have a hard time landing on me. You're going to have a really hard time. And he did. So Anthony Joshua needs to get over that hurdle, doesn't he? He needs to get over that hurdle. Like, when he's in the ring with a fighter who he looks at and he's like, look, this is a 50-50, or, you know, I could get knocked out in this fight. I don't think he handles it very, very well. So Robert Garcia, as you can see here, they're saying that Anthony Joshua has a mental problem, and that's the mental problem that he's working on. In the run-up to it. Listen, I really hope he overcomes all his demons, because it's not very nice, and I wouldn't wish those mental problems on anybody. I'm just saying. I really hope he can overcome those demons, because it's not a very nice place to be in. And listen, it shows you that, look, these mental health issues can affect absolutely anybody, you know. They can affect anybody. It doesn't matter how big you are, you know, how big your dick is, you know, how many fucking world title belts you've got. You know, we've all got, you know, serious weaknesses. And it is what it is. My worry for Anthony Joshua in this rematch with Oleksandr Usyk, and my worry for him when he comes aggressive, because the whole problem. Let me quickly say this, right? 81 in the chat. If you do want to hit the like button, hit the like button. If you do want to hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. We've only got 24 likes right now, so at the end of this episode, I'm getting names and addresses. 77 people in the chat, only 24 likes. At the end of this episode, I'm getting names and addresses. Yeah. And this man will be coming to knock, knock, knock.
What's going to happen? I was dead. You're dead.
There you go. Going to be knock, knock from Dougie Joyce. If them numbers don't get up, look, all I'll say is this. My worry for him in a fight with Usyk is, and this is the number one question, what's going to happen if he gets hit and hurt? Because the guy is so dumb, right? And his team are so stupid. His team are coming out all over social media. And what are they saying? Oh, he was wrong to box with a boxer. So now he's going to go out there and go to war. Am I right or wrong? That's what they're saying. So if you're Oleksandr Usyk, right, you're not worried about what the game plan's going to be for Anthony Joshua. You're not thinking about how is this guy going to come out and fight, because this guy spent the last fucking 9 months telling you exactly what he's going to come in the ring and do. So there's no mystique behind anything that Anthony Joshua is going to be doing in that ring, is there? There's going to be no mystique, is there? Like, the guy said, look, I was wrong to box with a boxer. In the next fight, I'm not boxing. So I'm not sure that's necessarily the best way to go at it, for two reasons. One, I think if he doesn't hurt Usyk significantly in the early rounds, he ain't going to make it. That's my opinion. And I do worry about him when he gets hit, because I think that some of the problems that he has are problems that you just... I'm not sure you can ever fix the problems that he has, ever, to be honest. I've had similar problems to Anthony Joshua that have held me back in my performance and things. And I've never recovered, and I'm 36 years old, and I've never recovered. I lost a fight badly once, right? I had a fight. I used to be really good at fighting. I lost one fight very badly, and I was never the same again after losing that fight. Lost a street fight, and I was never the same again after I lost that street fight. I was never the same person again, never. I struggled to defend myself. I struggled to do all sorts. I was never, ever the same person. I've spoken with a sports psychologist about it. I've done all kinds of stuff. I've purchased sports psychology courses on it. And nobody can fix me. Nobody can. Nobody. Boxing, taking up boxing a couple of years ago, well, more than a couple of years ago, taking up boxing has helped a little bit, I will say. It has helped a little bit. It has helped me a little bit. You know, I know deep down in my heart, I'm not a tough guy, but I know deep down in my heart, you know, look, when it comes to it, I know what I'm capable of doing. But look, that fear, that you know, and I'm speaking about me, not Anthony Joshua, and the cowardice that I have. Nobody's ever been able to get rid of that. Nobody in 20 years, nobody's ever been able to get rid of that. No sports psychologist. I spoke to a sports psychologist who dealt with world-class athletes. Some athletes in another sport that you would know. You would know who they were. Nobody can fix it. It's down to you. So, just to say, G, I don't think he's depressed. I don't think it's depression. I think it's just. It's almost like the easiest way to explain it is like it's a mental block, isn't it? It's a mental block. He's got a mental block, isn't he? He's got a mental block. I don't think he handles uncertainty very well. I don't handle uncertainty very well. I like things to be set. I like to know what's going to happen. That's why Mrs. Ultra is like one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because she's quite similar to me. We're both people who we don't like surprises. When I first met Mrs. Ultra, one of the first things she says to me is, "Do you know what? I don't really like surprises." And she said it to me in a way that was like, that was a negative thing about her. Like she thought, oh, that, you know, because you know, some people, you see all these stupid brawls on Tinder and they're banging on about spontaneity. I like spontaneity. Got to be spontaneous. I once saw a woman on a dating site, right? Don't contact me if you don't have a car, because if you don't have a car, it's hard to be spontaneous. Jesus Christ Almighty. So there's a lot of bullshit in it about the spark and spontaneity and all that. But when I first met my missus was like, "Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't like surprises. And you know what? Neither do I. Neither do I. The only surprise I like is it's takeaway for dinner. The only surprise I like is, shall we go out for dinner? A surprise like that. You know what I mean? Shall we have a takeaway for dinner tonight? Or shall we have a steak for dinner? Or should we go to M&S and blow the bank on some exotic ice cream? That's the kind of surprise I like. But I don't really like surprises. I don't handle change very well. And I think Anthony Joshua's the same. I don't think he handles uncertainty very well. And I think in fights where he's confident and he's pretty much certain he's going to go in and do the job, I think he's fine. But I think you see him in these Klitschko fights, the Povetkin fight, he looked ropey. The Usyk fight, he was ropey. I think their fights every time he gets hit, he's not the same, is he? Klitschko fight, he was extraordinary to come back and win that fight. Klitschko fight, he was extraordinary to win that fight. Extraordinary performance, because Klitschko should have got him out of there. But I don't know what you guys think. I'm not sure that's something that can be fixed. And my point is, my worry about him in an Usyk rematch is what's going to happen to him once Usyk lands and he gets buzzed. Because if you get in the water, you get wet. What's going to happen? Because you would imagine if you're Oleksandr Usyk, you're going to be practicing counter shots, aren't you? Would you say I'm right or wrong about that? I think Oleksandr Usyk, I've got a funny feeling he's going to be looking for the overhand left on Anthony Joshua as he comes in. I just got a funny feeling based on what I saw on that first fight. I just got a funny feeling that Oleksandr Usyk is going to be looping overhand lefts at Anthony Joshua's chin constantly when he comes in. Constantly as AJ comes in. Constantly. I wonder who will be throwing that. And if he lands one clean on Anthony Joshua's chin, and Usyk's a very accurate puncher. That's what I've said about Usyk in the run-up to fights. He's an accurate puncher. It's not like he's a hard puncher, but Usyk's I don't know. I've never been in England, but you know what I mean? He's an accurate puncher, Usyk. And it's not just that he's an accurate puncher. He loops punches from outside of your vision. And that's the problem with Usyk. That's why Usyk hurts fighters. He hurts his aura. And that's why he hurt Anthony Joshua. It's where the punches are coming from. And this is why I say to people that you need to really be in the ring before you can really talk about boxing. Like being on social media looking at BoxRec doesn't teach you these things about boxing. There's a big difference between a punch that you can see coming straight on and a punch that just completely takes you for blindside. A punch that comes completely out of your vision, like you don't even see the punch. And if you look at some of these looping left hooks that Oleksandr Usyk throws, he throws them from, and again, look, him when he knocks out Dave Allen, we'll show it again because we can show that because I don't think there's a copyright on that. And I said this in a run-up to the Anthony Joshua fight. I said, you've got to watch out for Usyk because he throws punches. It's not just the accuracy, but he throws punches and they come out of vision, into vision. Let me get this video up for you, one sec. So this is Usyk and Allen, yeah? In this now famous video, where Dave Allen was supposed to have one of the best chins in boxing, right? And Usyk just stood him on his feet, right? Usyk absolutely stood him on his feet. And you can see here, it's where the punch comes from. Can you see? That's what does him. You can see, look, you see he's absolutely gone and he's half out of there. Now, it's where the punch hits him. It's where the punch comes from. Can you see? He moves. It's Dave Allen. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and he's moving into the left hand because he's, I'm surprised from Dave Allen, but it is what it is. But Dave Allen's moving into the left hand of Oleksandr Usyk, so he walks right into the shot, which makes it 10 times worse. But if you just watch it, look, Dave Allen, look, you're going to see in a minute, he just strolls across into Usyk's left hand. He strolls across to his right hand side, which he shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be doing. And if you should be doing it, if you're going to move into the southpaw left hand, I would say, look, if you're in Dave Allen's position, you need to either have your hands high, or if your hands aren't high, you need to get a dip on your knees and get ready to roll it or come underneath it. And if you look at this shot, it's where Usyk throws it from. It's not the fact that he throws a hard shot. Here it comes. Look, you see he walks across. You see Dave Allen's walking across. He walks right across the line on the left hand, and look, he doesn't even see it. And that's what I'm saying. It's accuracy, but it's where the punch comes from, and it's how he loops the punches and how he brings them out. Like, Dave Allen's never seen that punch because he's brought it right around from outside his vision, yeah? And he was hitting Anthony Joshua with them kind of shots in their first fight, and that's why he was hurting Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua wasn't able to see a lot of the shots coming. If you look at that last round of AJ on the ropes, just taking punishment, he couldn't even see where the shots were coming from. So I worry for Anthony Joshua when he takes that shot, because you can fucking talk all day on fucking social media. You can get as many coaches. I'm telling you now, you can get as many coaches as you want. You can get Emmanuel Stewart, Costa D'Amato, and fucking Angelo Dundee all coaching you at the same time. But if you are gun shy, like I am, if you are genuinely gun shy and you get hit with a shot like that in a fight, them coaches can't help you. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like them coaches can't help you. The only person that can help you is you. So that would be my problem with Anthony Joshua that's going on. That's all I want to say. I think his team are making a lot of noise, but I'm not sure if they're making the right noises. That's all I'll say. Yeah? His team are making a lot of noises, but I'm not sure those noises are the right noises at the minute. Like John Trousen said, the bigger worry is that the rematch still isn't officially on yet. I mean, look, I don't think the signs are great. I think he'll get through the rematch and win it on points, because I think we're going to see some shocking cards. But I will say this: there are a lot of warning signs there if you're Anthony Joshua. The kind of warning signs that people are going to look back on after the fight. If AJ gets knocked out, people are going to look at those warning signs and say, "We should have known." A bit like Dillian Whyte, when people were saying Dillian Whyte not turning up for the press conference is a great move. And then after Dillian Whyte got sparked in 6 rounds and didn't put up much of a fight, people are going to turn around and people were turning around and saying, "Do you know what? Dillian fucked up big time. He fucked up big time. All that stuff that he was doing outside of the ring was needless. It was stupid stuff. He didn't need any of that. He didn't need to do any of that. It didn't help him at all." And I think they're going to say the same thing about Anthony Joshua if he loses that rematch to Usyk. They're going to point to all of this stuff, Is he fighting? Is he not fighting? Flying around America, worldwide, looking for a fucking trainer. Derek James, Robert Garcia, Eddie Reynoso, publicizing the whole process. The IFL TV interviews, talking about, I've got murder on my mind. I'm thinking about war and all this stuff. Do you know what? I don't know who he's trying to convince, but he doesn't convince me. I think he'll win the fight, but I'm not convinced, and that's all I can say, man. That's the one thing I will say for him in that fight. He needs to be, Chuck, I agree. And hanging out with the gangsters, it's all, like I said, people say I'm hating on AJ, I'm not, I think, look, at the end of the day, British boxing needs him to win. Press 1 if you agree, press 2 if you disagree. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care if he wins or loses, but British boxing needs Anthony Joshua to win that fight. But I'm talking from a psychological perspective, as somebody who's got a small bit of experience seeing a sports psychologist and looking at sports psychology programs and looking at programs on how to deal with anxiety before getting in the ring. I've been out on my feet in a boxing ring before. I've been put on the floor in a boxing ring before. So I know what it's like to be put on my feet, put on my ass. I know what it's like to be out on my feet in a boxing ring and not knowing where you are. I know what it's like to be scared in a boxing ring as well. So I know all about, those kind of things. So I would say, look, It's going to be hard for him. It's going to be very, very hard for him. And you know what? In a weird way, I kind of hope he does well. I kind of hope he overcomes it. But we'll have to wait and see. But is the rematch on? Is it not on? The whole situation is absolutely bizarre. Hopefully that will get announced with the zone. And if he does get sparked out, I mean, obviously, like I said before, it makes a laughing stock out of this DAZN deal, doesn't it? If he gets sparked out, but it is what it is. If he gets sparked out by Usyk, but I think the main game plan is to get this Fury fight. I think that's what this is all about. Getting this Fury fight. We've got 97 in the chat. We've only got 35 likes. Disgusting. 95 in the chat. 35 likes. Please hit the like button. If you're new and you want to talk about something, let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll stay for a bit longer and we'll chat. We can talk about Anthony Yarde versus Artur Beterbiev is somehow on. Can you fucking believe this stuff? Anthony Yarde versus Artur Beterbiev is apparently on and will be happening in October. We can talk about Anthony Joshua's rematch. There you go. More breaking news. Artur Usyk Jr. and Luis Ortiz is on for September the 4th. There you go. So Artur Usyk versus Luis Ortiz will be happening on September the 4th in LA. On a PBC card near you. I certainly don't really give... I'll watch it, but I don't really care about that fight, but I'll watch it. So we can talk about Anthony Yarde versus Beterbiev. We can talk about Tyson Fury not being allowed into the US. We can talk about Tyson Fury versus Joyce. And we can talk about Anthony Joshua. We're just having a chat about Anthony Joshua and anxiety and what Robert Garcia described as the mental problem. I mean, look at this card here on 258 Management. Anthony Joshua, a 99 for chin, 99 for defense, 99 for movement, and 99 for heart. I have seen it all in the sport of boxing. I really have seen it all in the sport of boxing. It is what it is. I can't see Imran's comment in a minute. Someone let me know about Imran's comment. I can't even see it or what he's saying. I cannot see it. Counterpunch says, if Kovalev sparked him, Beterbiev would do worse. You'd have to think it's a dreadful, dreadful fight for Anthony Yarde. Dreadful, dreadful fight for Anthony Yarde. And you know what, honestly, Frank Warren needs to be questioned about that, He does. And so does Tunde as well. Seriously, hit Tunde up on Stamina for Sale and ask Tunde why that fight's happening. I just think, look, unless the money's astronomical, it's too early for him. It's a bit too early. But like I said before, if Yarde wins, I'd love to be proved wrong. Vanguard says, does boxing help with your anxiety, Ultra? It does help a little bit. It does help a little bit. Only a little bit, but it does help. But I'll never be the same again. It's the level of confidence I had will never really return. But actually, the ironic thing is, right, and I'll tell you this. Before I lost that fight out on the street, I was a shit fighter, but I had confidence. Now, I've got no confidence, but I'm a much better fighter. That's ironic, isn't it? I've got no confidence now, but I'm a much better fighter, man. By far. I'm a much better fighter, man. I'm faster, I punch harder. I'm a much better fighter, man, than I ever was. That's the irony of it all. I just ain't got that. I just don't have that false confidence anymore. You know what I mean? I don't have that false confidence I don't have that false confidence. I don't have that false confidence. Right, let's have a look. Right, Artur Usyk versus Luis Ortiz. I mean, it is what it is. Why do you guys want to see this? Let's have a look at the Twitter comments. Diabetes from obesity versus diabetes. That comment is terrible. Look at this comment on Ortiz versus Ruiz. Been announced for September in LA. Diabetes from obesity versus diabetes from old age. May the best diabetic win. That is it. Social media is harsh, isn't it? Social media is a harsh place, man. That's cold, man. You guys picking on an old man. You guys picking on an old man in Luis Ortiz. TMG says, Wheel's going to come off for Beterbiev one of these fights. He's in big trouble against Callum Johnson. I mean, look, then again, there's an argument there, isn't it? Callum Johnson, how many years ago was that? 2-3 years ago, Callum Johnson pretty much had Beterbiev out on his feet, right? And we know Anthony Yarde can punch. I mean, look, one thing we know about Anthony Yarde can punch, but I don't see it. I don't see it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Underclass Heroes says, I give Joshua a 10 to 15% chance in the rematch. I just think anybody who thinks Anthony Joshua is going to get beat against Usyk, I've got some news for you. Here you go. This is for anybody who thinks Anthony Joshua is going to get beaten by Usyk. Two-time heavyweight champion of the world has ink to deal with the zone. That's exhibit A, okay? The second exhibit I've got, for anybody who thinks Anthony Joshua is going to lose a fight with Usyk, is this. You get the screen up, if I can find it. But I'm trying to get the screenshot of the Canelo versus Bivol scorecards. Go and look at the scorecards for Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol. And you told me that you're 100% sure that Anthony Joshua isn't going to get beaten by, isn't going to beat Oleksandr Usyk. Because some of the scorecards I'm seeing in boxing in a minute are absolutely atrocious. So I think, like I said before, the smart money would be on AJ. There's too much money in the minute. There's too much money invested in Anthony Joshua at the minute. There's too much upside. And they need this Anthony Joshua versus Fury fight. The Anthony Joshua versus Fury fight is a $200 million fight plus waiting to happen. And you think they're going to let AJ get in the ring and get sparked up by Usyk? Told you before, Russian snipers will be outside Usyk's fucking hotel room the night before the fight. They will be doing absolutely everything in their power to make sure that Oleksandr Usyk does not win that fight. Plain and simple. Big Guala says, my bro went to Canada to spar Beterbiev. Jesus Christ, your bro must be one of the hardest people on planet Earth. He went to Canada to spar Beterbiev. Jesus, is he still alive to tell the tale? Unbelievable. John Trousen said, the more of AJ's former fans I see turning on him, the more I lean towards rooting for him. Do you know what? In a weird way, like I said, because of the anxiety thing that he's got, and because of the problems that he's got, I am kind of leaning towards him a bit. You can see in it. And another reason you can see that we are coming to sort of the end of Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, is also the act, innit? Remember that little act he's had, the stay humble. Yeah, my email is ultratechsports@gmail.com. Remember that, the act in it, ages to put on. Stay hungry, stay humble. Remember all that shit? Stay hungry, stay humble. You can tell AJ's coming to the end of that shit because he's scrapping all that shit, innit? All that acting that he was doing. The man had an acting career equivalent to Julia Roberts, innit? AJ had an acting career equivalent of Julia Roberts. AJ out here acting in Pretty Woman, pretending he's all humble and shit. Well, now we're coming to the end of Anthony Joshua's career. Now we're actually seeing, innit, that he's not, he's a roadman, isn't he? He's a roadman.
Remember you're running him up, because when I bring people up here and I start cracking your glass jaws, none of you will like it. When your jaws start breaking, people start chasing you out of this uni, none of you will like it. Watch your mouth, because you don't know who you're talking to sometimes. I know, listen, all that public eye bullshit, I ain't into all that.
There you go. You heard it here from AJ himself, yeah? There you go. You go from stay hungry, stay humble. And now these days, you man running up on students, innit? Tell them to watch their mouth. See all that public eye shit? I ain't about that. I ain't about that. So you can see in it that AJ, innit? You know we're coming to the end. Like the whole charade's coming to an end, innit? He's not trying to hide who he is anymore, is he? He is, innit? We're at the stage of AJ, and AJ's like one of them old uncles at a barbecue. He's just letting it all hang out now, innit? At this stage of his career. AJ's now just, do you know what I mean? AJ's like one of them old uncles at a barbecue, isn't he? He's just letting it all hang out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's all it is, isn't it? It is what it is. It is what it is. Games You Love says White was right about AJ all along. Well, it was what it was, isn't it? Yeah, he kind of was, wasn't he? But you know about AJ. So AJ is what AJ. He's just being himself now, isn't he? So that's how you know now. He's at the take it. We all get to an age. Some of you that listen to this channel are quite young. But I think most of us listening to this channel, we're all at the kind of age where it's kind of, look, just take it or leave it. I'm too old to change, innit? I think most of us are at that stage of our career, innit? It's like, fuck, I'm too old to change, man. Just take it or leave it. That's the stage Anthony Joshua's at his career right now, innit? I'm too old to change, man. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. Let me get one of them Tunde and Anthony Yarde pad routines. Jesus Christ. Tell you what, it's gonna take a fucking. It's gonna take a hell of a fucking pad routine for for Yarde to beat Beterbiev. Let me tell you, it needs some of this stuff, man. Look, I love Tunde, man, but I don't agree with this fight. You know, I love Tunde, but I do not agree with this fight. You know, I tell you what, it's gonna take some serious fucking pad work, yeah, for Anthony Yarde to beat Beterbiev. Trust me, they're gonna need to speed this up times 100. Let's see if we can speed this up. Look, this is the kind of pad work that Yarde will need to do to beat Beterbiev. Look. If I see Yarde hitting the pads like this again, I can't give him a chance. If I see Anthony Yarde hitting the pads like this, yeah, for Beterbiev, yeah, I'm giving him half a chance. But that's what I'm gonna have to see to believe he can win. You know, that's what I have to believe. If I see this, he's getting knocked out. Simple as that. It is what it is. Let's have a look here. Counter Punch says Elbrook's fight is off. Oh, no way! Are you kidding me? Counter Punch, is Ellie Brook versus Astrid Wet? Is that off? That's a shame, isn't it? Are you kidding me? Nah. There's a joke. Oh my god, Jesus Christ! I can't put this shit in. What's wrong with this stuff? Hold on. I was gonna make a joke about no, I can't make jokes about that. Oh, Jesus Christ! I mean, putting Ellie Brook in social media. It takes a brave man, innit, to put Ellie Brook's name in social media when you're doing a live show. I'm just trying to get through this. Can somebody? Okay, no, okay. Here's where the story ends, innit? It'd be like that fucking song with Tintin out. Here's where the story ends. Richard, if you've got a viewer-friendly link where I can see a press release about Ellie Brook and Astrid Wet being off, that's a damn shame. She was being trained by my friend of the show, Mark Tibbs. That's a very, very big shame. That's a very, very big shame. There's a joke there that I want to make badly, you know, about Ellie Brook suffering an injury. Ellie Brook suffering an injury in training. Training. Let's see. Right, let's have a look. Let's go look to our Twitter page here. Right, what's going on? Is this fight on or not, or what? It was what it was. Dench says, yeah, we warned you about her before Googling her name. Ah, yeah, here we go. We've got Astrid here. We've got Astrid here. Why I'm no longer fighting on the Kingpin boxing event. There you go. There's Astrid. Fair play. But she's still going to have a fight, though. There you go. It is what it is. There you go. You picked the wrong fucking fight. See you next Tuesday. Ellie Brook fiery message to Astrid Wet. Well, that fight is... See, that's what I'm saying. That was one of the biggest British boxing fights of the year. That was the one British boxing fight that I was actually looking forward to. I was really looking forward to that fight. It is what it is. I can only hope that Ellie Brook's in good health. It is what it is. Big Guala wants me to check my emails. Nope, I haven't got your email. Probably because it's been sent to the wrong address. I'm ultratechsports@gmail.com. Am I not? I believe so. ultratechsports@gmail.com. It is what it is. Yeah, that's it. British boxing in the gutter again. There you go. So hold on. It's Simple Simon versus Ed Matthews. Is that still on as well? What's going on with that? Simple Simon and Ed Matthews. Is that still on or what? But it is what it is. Oh, look at this. Look. Ellie Brook talks fighting Astrid and performing with Johnny Sins. Really? I had no idea, you know. Performing with Johnny Sins. Fair play. Was what it was. Oh, yeah, that's still on. Oh, great. Well, British boxing saved it. All right, so we've done quite a bit of a streaming today. In closing, let's wrap up with the news. So, in news that we covered today, Anthony Yarde versus Artur Beterbiev is apparently on and done and agreed. Artur Beterbiev is coming to the UK in October if he wins tonight, apparently. He'll be fighting Anthony Yarde. Lions in the camp. fuck me. I don't know how that fight's being allowed to. Hopefully, the British Boxing Board of Control will step in and stop that fight from happening. But it is what it is. So that's the piece of news there. Excusez-moi. Tyson Fury's making up more bullshit about his imaginary retirement. He's talking about $500 million. And there are some living and breathing mammals out there who are actually taking Tyson Fury seriously. Why? I have no idea whatsoever. So there you go with that. People are still getting wound up about Tyson Fury. And like I said, there seems to be this strange fetish with getting Tyson Fury stripped. Let's strip Tyson Fury. Let's strip Tyson Fury. Yeah, well, a lot of it's because really they want to they want Andy Joshua to get the belts, don't they? But yeah, people are still getting taken in by Tyson Fury's trolling. Bob Arum is saying that Fury versus Joyce can happen in early October. I think that would be a very, very, very good fight to watch. I'm not sure it will do massive pay-per-view numbers, but I think it'll be an entertaining fight to watch to a degree. And I think it will do very, very well in terms of numbers, actually. I think in terms of numbers at the crowd, the gate, so to speak. I can see them doing Wembley Arena at that one again. Of course, Fury's coming back. Fury's coming back. He would have told the WBC he's got no intention of retiring. They've obviously told the WBC behind closed doors, wait for the winner of Usyk and AJ and see what happens. Simple as that. They're not worried about that. Fury's not retired. Just wait for the winner of AJ versus Usyk, pretend to be retired, and then up the price to come out of retirement. It's just ABC 1, 2, 3. I don't know why anybody would sort of get upset about it. This is Bob Arum's interview with Dev Sani at Frank Warren TV about Fury and Joyce and the possibility of that happening. Tyson Fury won't be fighting in the US anymore or for the near future because he's not even being allowed into the US. It seems like anybody with links to Daniel Kinahan is not allowed into the country. All right, so there you go. Some people in boxing seem to be quite happy with that news. Fucking hell. You know my opinions on that, but some people in boxing seem to be rather happy about this news. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But yeah, so it looks like, Fury and Top Rank, there'll probably be some kind of relationship there, but the bottom line of it is Top Rank want to do big fights in the States, don't they? Because big fights in the States gives them a bigger chance of doing big pay-per-views in America, isn't it? Big fights in the States, ideally, against American opponents, on American pay-per-view. I thought that's what Top Rank were in the business of doing, but I don't know. It looks like Fury, and Fury is a free agent, by the way. I believe his contract with Top Rank's over and he's run out or something. So I don't know. Maybe Fury could sign with Matchroom DAZN. Who knows? Could happen. I believe he's out of contract. I think the fight with White was his last contracted fight with Top Rank in ESPN or whatever. So I believe he's a free agent. But you'd imagine that Frank Warren will do his best to put on a show with Fury. Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. I might go live for this tonight. We'll see how that goes. If you guys have got any predictions that you'd like to give for that fight tonight, how do you think it will go? I'm not really well versed in it. I've seen Beterbiev's. I've seen quite a few Beterbiev fights, but I forget them all very quickly. I'm not sure. I didn't see the fight with Marcus Brown though. But yeah, Beterbiev versus Joe Smith. Who have you got for that tonight? 3 world titles on the line. It's supposed to be one of the fights of the year. One of the most entertaining fights of the year. So I probably will. Maybe we probably will go live for that. I think we probably should go live for that fight tonight, especially as Anthony Yarde is ringside and is signed up to fight Beterbiev if he wins. 70% of people on this poll are going for Beterbiev to win that fight. So I have to see. Give us your any sort of final thoughts that you have on that. Just going through, there's Oleksandr Usyk in training for the Anthony Joshua rematch. It looks like Usyk is beginning to put that weight on that he has been losing. Obviously, very, very... that's what it was. Do you know we had a discussion about what was going on, that war? Do you know why we had a discussion? Somebody basically said that Usyk being involved in the war against Russia isn't an excuse for not fighting Anthony Joshua sooner, or somebody said something ridiculous like that online. It was some kind of ridiculous comment, and somebody said, "Oh, Usyk being involved in the war is not an excuse to need more time. He shouldn't need any more time. He's not on the front line fighting." And at that point, I tried to explain to him, right, Usyk might not be on the front line fighting per se, but I believe he's a reserve. He could get called into action, and he's most likely losing people that are friends to him. You know, he's meeting people, he's building relationships, he's with his comrades, and these people are going out to fight Russia in a minute, and they're being killed. So he's losing his people. His people are being killed. Right? There's all kinds of things going on in that country at the minute. So, but apparently, according to some boxing fan on Twitter, that isn't sufficient enough to need more time to fight the great. I mean, it's just the stuff you read on Twitter is just horrendous. And anyway, Usyk looks like he's putting the weight back on a little bit more. He's getting ready to train with for Anthony Joshua. And as you can see, like I said before, in these countries like the Ukraines and the Russias, they have proper boxing coaches. It's not like what we've got in the UK, where it's glorified padmen, yeah, that are. Do you know what I mean? It's not glorified padmen that are just sort of, you know, bullshitting their way into coaching fighters. That's what we've got in the UK, isn't it? If you look at the state of coaching in the UK and look at some of these so-called top coaches, Jesus Christ, it's embarrassing, isn't it? But in the Ukraine, in the Russia, they do things properly. Do you know what I mean? They do things properly. And that's why, you know, they produce boxers like Usyk. They produce boxers like Lomachenko. They produce these fighters because they understand things about technical boxing. They understand that boxing's about hit and not be hit. They understand about angles. They understand about setting up punches. They understand about, you know, they understand about more than, go on, AJ, give me a jab, AJ. Give me the right hand, AJ. They understand a lot more about boxing, I would say, than the kind of crap that gets taught over here. You know, like I said before, over here, if boxing coaching in the UK was a supermarket, I would say Iceland frozen food section, in all honesty. Iceland frozen food section. Oleksandr Usyk training with the kind of trainers he trains with, I mean, that would be like Selfridge's food hall. And the kind of training that's available in the UK would be, like I said before, Iceland meal deal, buy one, get one free. Announced for anybody who still gives a shit, Ricky Hatton's exhibition fight against Marco Antonio Barrera will now take place November the 12th at the Manchester Arena. It was only a couple of weeks ago that some people were saying Ben Shalom was revolutionising UK boxing. Am I lying? Were people not praising Ben Shalom and saying he's the future of boxing about fucking 3 weeks ago? I mean, like I said before, it's the blind leading the blind, isn't it? It is the blind leading the fucking blind. Ben Shalom's taking over the sport. Ben Shalom's a fresh air to the sport. Fuck me. If you're hearing what I'm hearing about the state of boxer and the state of the shit that they're about to be serving up here on a UK card near you probably think twice about that one. George Kambosos and Devin Haney. Oh my God. I had to sit. Thank fuck I fell asleep and didn't stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning to watch Kambosos and Haney. God, that was an absolute snore fest from top to bottom. And guess what? They've got to do it all over again. And you can't blame Kambosos. I mean, what's he supposed to do? Turn down another paycheck? Why would he do that for? So it is what it is, isn't it? Kambosos wants that money, and he'll be getting that money because Kambosos versus Haney 2 will be coming to a pay-per-view near you. Jesus Christ Almighty! That talk about stinking the fucking joint out. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. So George Kambosos has revealed that he's now officially activated his rematch clause. Great stuff. One fight that I'm looking forward to seeing is Crawford and Spence, which we've been hearing for months now is on the verge of being done. For me, if you ask me, Ultra, what's the biggest fight in boxing? For me, it's Crawford versus Spence by far. For me, like, it's not even a contest. Crawford versus Spence is the biggest fight in boxing. For me, like, that's just for me. I don't care about tickets, pay-per-view sales, who's the face of boxing, fucking people on BoxRec. I don't give a shit about that. Crawford versus Spence, you've got the best of the best in their prime for all the marbles. So Crawford and Spence is a once-in-a-lifetime fight. You know, Crawford and Spence is a once-in-a-lifetime fight for me. So absolutely, can't wait to see that. If that happens, credit to Al. And if that fight comes over the line, again, like I said before, people criticize Al Heyman and say Al Heyman's a cancer to the sport of boxing, but Al Heyman's the one who's delivered you Crawford versus Spence. So, and the man's gonna give us an undisputed champion at welterweight. We have an undisputed champion also at light middleweight. So, yeah, Al Heyman's out here doing some work. You know what I mean? Put a bit of respect on Al Heyman's name. Shout out to Joyce. I forgot we got a Joyce meme here and we don't even use it.
think it must be some size helmet.
Joyce will face Christian Hammer in a heavyweight clash on July 2nd at Wembley Arena in London. Show also features Jason Cunningham versus Alane Tete and Callum Johnson, who should be fighting Anthony Yarde versus Igor Mikulin. It is what it is in British boxing in a minute, isn't it? It is what it is. Joyce versus Christian Hammer. I tell you what. It's very interesting here how they're panning Christian Hammer versus Joyce, right? They're all saying it's a terrible fight. But when Frank Sanchez fought Christian Hammer, people coming in their pants. Do you find that funny? Like I said before. Weird, isn't it? When Frank Sanchez fought Christian Hammer in one of the most boring fights of the year, people coming in their fucking pants and saying that Frank Sanchez is the second coming of God because he's trained by Eddie Reynoso. You may have noticed now that since Canelo got beat by Bivol, all that Eddie Reynoso hype has been turned off now. Have you noticed that? All those Eddie Reynoso is the greatest trainer of all time. All that stuff's gone out the window. Again, it's just funny, isn't it? People just talk a lot of crap and then all of a sudden disappear, innit? All that Eddie Reynoso shit's disappeared. But yeah, it is what it is. Wow, I missed this one, guys. I genuinely missed this one. This is great news. Announced. Virgil Ortiz versus Michael McKinson has been rescheduled for August the 6th in Texas. Well, I didn't even know about that. You know why? I spend more time hitting the punch bag in the gym than reading stuff on Michael Benson's Twitter page. To be honest with you, I'm being honest with you. Spend more time in the gym and just chatting to people in the gym and actually doing stuff related to boxing than following boxing shit on Michael Benson's page. So I wasn't aware of that. That's fantastic to hear. So Michael McKinson's finally getting his opportunity. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand what Michael McKinson's ever done to step in the ring with Virgil Ortiz. And I like Michael McKinson, but that's another one. If you think Michael McKinson versus Virgil Ortiz is a mismatch, press 7. If you do not think Michael McKinson versus Virgil Ortiz is a rematch, press 8. So if you think McKinson Ortiz is a mismatch, press 7. If you think it's not a mismatch, press 8. I don't understand how Michael McKinson ever got to a point where he's fighting Virgil Ortiz. Because Virgil Ortiz, I don't know what. I see so much shit on it. The shit I see on the internet, right? Virgil Ortiz made up. You know, Virgil Ortiz was taken into hospital with a very, very serious problem, which is apparently related to weight cutting. And Virgil Ortiz was, in hospital. And people said Virgil Ortiz made it up to avoid McKinson. Virgil Ortiz is ducking McKinson. I'm sitting here thinking, are these people smoking crack? Because I saw Michael McKinson fight before most of these people ever saw Michael McKinson fight, right? I watched Michael McKinson fight a small hall before these guys ever even knew who Michael McKinson was. And Michael McKinson is a very, very skilled fighter. A very, very skilled fighter. I've never seen anything from Michael McKinson in my life that makes me think, yeah, put him in the ring with Virgil Ortiz. Ever. And I have a very, very bad feeling that people are going to get that through their fucking heads on August the 6th in Texas. I think August the 6th in Texas, I think a few people are going to be a bit surprised. Because as I keep saying, boxing is not top trumps. And I think that's what people need to understand about boxing. Boxing is not top trumps. I think there's a few people out there who think boxing's top trumps. But it isn't. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. That's a very, very good fight. Or very, very interesting fight. I'm glad, but McKinson's been calling for it. He wanted it. He'll fight anybody. You can see that. He's taking it. But listen, for me personally, it is what it is. Do you know one thing we haven't talked about as well, which we should have talked about quickly? Tommy Fury and Jake Paul is on. That's another one. Tommy Fury and Jake Paul is on. What do you think? Tommy Fury and Jake Paul is on. On pay-per-view, apparently. That's the word going around on the internet. That's the word going around on the internet, that Tommy Fury and Jake Paul is on. Like I said before, Jake Paul, very, very strange, because when Jake Paul first started boxing, channels like myself were criticised for saying that Jake Paul is a decent for someone who's never boxed, right? Ultra, you're casual. You don't know anything about boxing. I can't believe that you're even paying attention to Jake Paul. And I said that if you actually, I think I was probably the first one to say it. This is when people were talking about KSI and Logan and all these muppets, and I said Jake Paul is the best out of the lot of them. That's what I said. Jake Paul is the best out of all of them, right? In terms of actual boxing ability, he's the best out of them all, right? But now, since people have gone overboard, they think Jake Paul's this big wrecking machine. He's going to knock out Tommy Fury. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. All I'll say to you is this. Jake Paul has never fought a boxer. Jake Paul has never fought a boxer. So people need to remember that about Jake Paul. Jake Paul's going to knock out Tommy Fury. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to ice Tommy Fury. Oh, we'll see. Maybe he will. But Jake Paul has never fought a boxer. Have you ever been in a ring with somebody in a boxing ring who doesn't actually box before? I have. I've been in a ring with guys who do Muay Thai. And they can box a bit anyway. But if you've ever had experience boxing in the ring with guys who primarily do Muay Thai, so they primarily do some form of mixed martial art or something where they use their feet, it's very, very different to getting in a ring with somebody who's trained in boxing. The way they use their feet, the way they set their feet, their stances, a lot of the time are quite different. You can tell, and if you can tell in stuff like Dillian White, you know, Dillian White started off in Muay Thai, didn't he? And then he crossed over to boxing. You know, very, very different. You square up a lot in Muay Thai. Your feet position. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I know you square up. Your feet. I've seen tons of Muay Thai actually. So you think I should have known something by now, given how much I've seen of it over the last couple of years? But I don't understand anything about it. But very, very different. And so a lot of the time, I can tell. I've been in sparred people, like sparred, obviously, and I've said, "Do you do Muay Thai or something?" And they go, "Yeah, I can tell because of your feet and the way the way you angle yourself and the way you do things." Does that make sense? So it's very, very different when you get in the ring with somebody who's a mixed martial artist trying to box, as opposed to somebody who spent a very, very long period of time actually fucking boxing. So I'm not saying Tommy Fury's the favourite to win the fight. I have a sneaky. I think the cards will be terrible. I think the cards will be terrible. But people are writing off Tommy Fury way too much. Jake Paul's never been in the ring with a boxer, and he ain't really that great. He's never been in the ring with a boxer. And people need to, and like I said before, and that's why, like I said before, again, I get a lot of criticism for saying this, but that's why on this channel, I always say, yeah, why it's important for people who want to know about boxing to actually get in the boxing ring. Get in the boxing ring with somebody who does Muay Thai, and then get in the ring with somebody who actually boxes, and you'll see the difference. The difference, particularly in the footwork, is ginormous. So we're going to see little things that Jake Paul's able to get away with against Tyrone Woodley. We'll see if we can get away with those things against Tommy Fury. We'll see. Because I think Tommy Fury's footwork... Tommy Fury's also... I will say one thing about Tommy Fury. He does have very quick hands. Press 1 if you agree or press 2 if you disagree. I think Tommy Fury actually has very, very quick hands for a big man. And he's got decent feet as well. Press 1 if you agree, press 2 if you disagree. So just saying. Like, people are saying that Tommy's going to get iced. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. But you'll see. And you know what will happen? If Tommy beats Jake Paul, those people who said that Tommy Fury's a pussy and that all that stuff with his doctors, he made it up, they'll be jumping. That's what they always do, innit? They criticize and then they hop on your you know what, don't you? They criticize you and tell you you're nothing and that you're shit and that you're garbage. And then when you win a fight, they all hop on you, don't they? And they tell you how great you are. But you'll have to see. You'll have to see. I think Tommy Fury's asleep in. The cards worry me. I'll be honest with you. The cards do worry me a lot. But short of the cards, if you guaranteed me the cards, if you guaranteed me the cards, yeah, would be 100% fair. I think Tommy Fury's extremely live in that fight. Extremely live in that fight. Extremely live in that fight. That's my opinion. I think Tommy's extremely live. We'll have to wait and see. Richard says he's got a ridiculously long reach. If he can keep him on the end of the 1-2, it's not even competitive. Let's have one more look at this Julius Francis video that's going around. Gosh, I can't believe I've lost this one. Julius Francis. I can't spell. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. How am I criticising people for spelling and I can't spell Julius Francis? It's terrible, isn't it? Let's have one more look at this Julius Francis video and then we'll call it a day. I might be back later on for Beterbiev, but we'll have to wait and see what's going on. Here we go. Right. Let's do this one more time. Let's get all your opinions about this one last time. I'll tell you what. Special occasion and all that. We'll even give you the sound for it. Do you know what that guy said? He said, F your family and F your friends. I hope they have a heart attack. Did you hear what he just said, that guy? That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to say to somebody, isn't it? Look. F your family and F your friends. I hope you have a heart attack. So he said to Julius Francis, F you and F your family. I hope you have a heart attack. Wow. Tell you what, man. This is what I say. Do you know what's funny? Do you remember we had that chat about do you remember we had that chat about exactly what Crazy D3's just said? Like, I'm not a tough guy, yeah? So let me say this now. Like, listen, if it was me and Do-Rag Man was saying that to me, yeah, I'd be shitting my pants. I'd probably piss my pants and walk away. Or I'd run away or something. Because we all know I can't fight. So if Blue Do-Rag Man ever catches up with me, I'm going to get smoked, innit? I'm going to get smoked. But I have to be honest with you, yeah? I have to be honest with you. Remember we had that conversation about the difference between actual tough guys who I've met in the gym. I'm talking legit tough guys who do what Waddy and Julius Francis are doing here. Working the doors, yeah? Working the doors. I'm sure many of you guys in your gyms have the guys who work the doors as well. Pretty common, isn't it, yeah? And what did I say? I said they do everything they can to avoid fights. They don't act like tough guys. Yeah, they're not interested in any big talk. They're not interested in any of that. All they're interested in is diffuse the threat ASAP. And I said that's the difference between guys who think they're tough, yeah, and talk a hot game. I can hear it in your voice. He looks scared. He don't want it. Those types, yeah. And the difference between people who can actually go when it's time to go. They can actually go. And that's what we're seeing here.
Say that.
There you go. Look, now you see how these tough guys, yeah, like you say, they always pick on the weakest target. Exactly. We'll talk about Boldy in a sec. You see what I'm saying? Always pick the weakest target. So you see here, yeah, Waddy Camacho, yeah. Now look at this. One sec. You see when the small Asian dude tries to just move him on, yeah. Look how he reacts. He pushes him and he goes, "I will fuck you up." Look, watch this. Look, this Asian guy tries to get close to him just to push him away. Look, he pushes him and he goes, "I will fuck you up." Right? So you see how he reacts to small Asian guy. He's gonna shove small Asian guy. Watch what he does when Waddy Camacho puts his hands on him. Now let's look at the reaction when Waddy Camacho does it. See when Waddy pushes him, he don't do nothing. You see when Waddy pushes him, what happens? Look. You see when Waddy shoves him back and goes, "What's wrong with you?" You don't do nothing. But you see how he's going to pick on this on what he thinks is the smallest guy, the least threatening guy. That's the guy that him and his bald-headed mate pick on. Look. Shove that dude. And then look. He's now starting. Look at this small-headed ginger guy. Get your hands off. This guy's been shoved into him. Get your hands off me. Get your hands off me. Shall I tell you one thing, right? And I'll say this now. Genuinely, and I'll promise you this now. I am not a fighter. I can't fight for shit, yeah? And all YouTubers would knock me out. You see when you've got a guy who's talking tough to you, but they're squared up like this with their hands down? Don't trust the talk. That's all I'm going to say. Don't trust the talk. Because if you're, all I'll say is this: if you're serious about doing something to somebody, your hands really shouldn't be in that position. Press 1 if you agree, press 2 if you disagree. I could be wrong about that, and that's what gets do-rag guy knocked out. Honestly, if you're really intent on doing something to somebody, I'm not a fighter. I don't get involved in fights, but I'm not sure that you should have your position, your hands and your feet in that position. The face is saying one thing. Does that make sense? His face and his mouth is saying one thing. But if you look at the way he's angled up here, he's not in line to do anything here at all, by the way. That's all I'm saying. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit of a geek. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Sorry. Put your hands off me. Look at his hands are low. I mean, he could get sucker punched at any minute. You see my man here, yeah, with ginger beard. He could have got absolutely sucker punched there, and he'd have been gone. You see what I'm saying? He'd have been out, flat out. Look what he's doing. Look, this stuff don't mean nothing, and that's what I'm saying. When I get guys who always threaten me, yeah, and say things to me, yeah, don't listen to the mouth. Just look at what's going on from the neck down. His mouth is saying one thing, but what he's doing from the neck down says something completely different, because that is not the position of anybody who's going to do anything anytime. Look at that position he's in there. He ain't going to do... Look, come on. Look at that positioning. Oh, my God, with his head down like that. Chin up. Anyway, let's see what happens. Do-rag man gets himself into the same position later on, and you know what happens to him. See, why he keeps pushing him, you see? Why he's pushing him away. Let's carry on. Here he comes, number 2. The fake punch. Are you going to punch somebody or not punch somebody? What do you think about this? What do you guys think about that? The fake punch there. The fake punch there, look. Are you going to go or are you not going to go? Look, like I said before, I don't want to talk tough. Blue do-rag guy would knock me out unconscious, yeah? But can I be honest with you? As someone who suffers with a lot of anxiety, yeah, and I always melt in I hate confrontations. So in confrontations like this, I melt a lot, yeah? I melt pretty quickly. I get really intimidated. But you know what I try and tell myself, yeah? And I'm trying to tell myself a lot more. And videos like this kind of help me as well. Like you can see that actually, do you know what? The talk is cheap. The talk's irrelevant. It's about what's going on. And this guy, look what I'm saying. These guys are just trying to intimidate. Now, a guy who's actually looking to fight, in my opinion, let me know if you disagree, doesn't behave like that. If you're looking to actually put someone out, that's not the way you go on. You don't run your mouth. You don't telegraph every move. You don't start throwing fake punches. That tells me you're just trying to intimidate. At that point, I will question if you're actually planning to follow through. And with these guys who try to intimidate, yeah, but they're not sure whether they're following through. One thing that a lot of these guys, unfortunately, you have in common with these guys is when these guys take a shot, they're the first ones to go. Press 1 if you think I'm wrong. If you think I'm right, press 2 if you think I'm wrong. Press 1 if you think I'm right, press 2 if you think I'm wrong. With a lot of these guys that you can see they try to intimidate rather than actually do something. Those are the guys that when it comes time to take a shot that you worry about. Takes a shot from him. Look, nothing. Look at this guy. Look. That was the cue. Now, let me tell you this. This was the cue right here. This was the cue right here that these guys needed to go home. I said it before. At this point here, they got to go home. Look. Fake punch. My man here takes a swing. This guy's still doing nothing. Doing all talking, does nothing. Tries it on with this guy. This guy throws a shot. Nothing happens at this point. Nothing happens. So now it really is time for this guy now to go home. Honestly, go home. Have a Horlicks, have a mug, calm down. Forget the ego and just go home. Everybody wins fights. Everybody loses fights. There's nothing wrong with losing a fight. There's nothing wrong with backing down from a fight. Doesn't make you a pussy. Our job is to go home and go home safely. At this point, he needs to go home and he makes the mistake. But that there was the cue there. That guy swung at him And he's doing all this big talk and he's telling people, I hope you die of a heart attack. I hope your family die. He's saying all this shit. He's acting like the Incredible Hulk. He's kicking things. He's slamming things around. This guy takes a swing, yeah? And you see the reaction there. Don't do nothing, does he? Like, that would make me question it, innit? Look. And there it was. There it was. Hands down, innit? It's always hands down. Sucker punch, hands down. Always the same. Always the same. Sorry, I've got to see that one more time. What a beauty. What a beauty. What a beauty. And you know what the worst thing about that shot was as well? Julius Francis threw that shot on the back foot. Can you imagine if Francis had really intended to do something to this guy? Like, this guy said to him, I hope your family die, basically. Can you imagine if Francis got on the front foot and then actually threw a real shot? Just look at where he threw that shot from. He threw it in the middle of a fucking backward step. Bloody hell. Let me see if I can zoom in on that one more time. Jesus Christ. What a shot that is. Shot of the year, knockout of the year? It's got to be, innit? That's got to be, innit? Look at him, hands down there. Nice hands down. He's walking up. What? Yeah. Chin up in the air. Hands by the waist. Julius Francis must have thought it was Christmas time when he's seen this, you know? Oh, and that's the mistake there. He raised his hands to point at him because he's trying to intimidate him. Silly move, innit? Now that he's done that, he's already been aggressive. He's already threatened he's already been aggressive. He's already said that he hopes his family dies. He's already been acting aggressive. Now he's walking towards him, and now he's lifted his hands. And you can already see, if you see Julius Francis is already prepared for that, because you can see he's got that little turn in his left hip there. So he's already ready for the shot. Whole thing's premeditated. These guys, Wadi Camacho and Julius Francis, have been walking doors for years, man. Think they've never seen this shit before. They see this shit every other night. Listen, Wadi Camacho follows me on Twitter. I could DM Wadi Camacho right now if I wanted to. Wadi Camacho follows me on Twitter. Wadi Camacho is a seasoned doorman. These guys see this shit day in and day out. Does this guy not think that they haven't seen this kind of stuff before? They've seen 1,000,001 guys say this shit. They've seen 1,000,001 guys say this shit. Unfortunately, but he made a big mistake because Francis was already ready to punch him. Sorry, I know I keep replaying it, but I find it interesting. Even that, I'm not even sure it was muscle memory. I think he's premeditated. He's ready. If you look, he turns his hip. Look, back foot. He's ready. That punch was loaded and ready to go. He was ready. He was ready. I think it's just a matter of time. The guy came to him. Once the guy raised his hands, that was his cue to go. Yeah, I agree with you, Games Love. He loaded his hips. There's a little load in his hips. About there, do you guys disagree? Okay. What do you guys think? Instinct? You guys think it's instinct? I think it's premeditated. I think he knows. I think if you look here, it's a one-on-one situation. This guy's been aggressive. He's walking towards him. If you look for me there, that left. I mean, you wouldn't see that. This is split-second stuff. But I think at this point, he's made the decision's already been made. If this guy does something, that's the shot. And the guy lifts his hand and he goes. Simple as that. Bang. Soon as he lifted his hand. I think that was premeditated. But I could be wrong. Let me know if you guys think it's instinct. It's very interesting, isn't it? I think at this point here, once this guy starts walking towards him, I'll show you here. You see at this point here. At this moment here, when he turns and starts walking towards him, now there's no security, there's nobody here. It's a straight one-on-one. There's nobody in between. There's no space in between. Yeah? At this point, it's over. Do you not see that? At that point now, this guy's now fair game, you see? There's nobody holding him back. There's no barriers. There's no nothing. At this point, this dude's now completely fair game. He's just waiting to see what he does. And as soon as he does something, as soon as he gets the red light, he's going. Francis is going to go. Here he comes. There's the red light, and he's gone. And he goes. Simple as that. There you go. Let's look at that one more time without me talking.
Just stop.
Stay there.
And fucking family, do I hope you have a heart. Do something. I hope you have a heart.
Oh, shit. Oh, Brody. Why? Oh, Brody.
Jar back. Do you know what it is as well? I mean, man. Do you know what? Somebody said this guy's a boxer. Somebody in the last show said that Ahara Davis said this guy's a professional boxer, you know? Wow. Like I said before, Do-Rag Man would knock me clean out, but I have to be honest and say, I'm shocked, you know. But that shot would get anybody out of there. Nobody's taking that. Clean on the chin, not expecting it, hands, nobody's taking that. Other than Joyce. He's in big trouble, you know. And you know what somebody said? Somebody said that he must have been in loads of fights because his mate knew to turn him over, so he didn't swallow his tongue. He's gone. I mean, he is gone. I'm not sure what's worse, the blue do-rag and the fucking brown Gucci bag. Can someone tell me, do blue and brown mix? Maybe that's the reason why Julius Francis finally lost his temper with this guy. Maybe it wasn't the fact that he said his whole family should die of heart attacks. It's probably more to do with the fact that he was wearing a fucking a blue do-rag, yeah, and a brown Gucci bag. I think what offended Julius Francis was the colour matching going on there, innit? You know, the man's in a fucking Wembley. The man's in a fucking big Wembley Park. Like, JD Sports is just around the corner, and the man couldn't buy a matching do-rag to go with the bag. I think that was probably the last straw for Julius Francis, to be fair. And this guy's gone. You know what they say? I mean, I could be wrong, but they say a lot of times it's the guys with the big mouths who can't take the shots, innit? I could be wrong on that, innit? But the guys, let me know what you think. They say I include myself in that. It says the guys who got the big mags, who got the big, who got the best, who got the biggest mouths, innit? Like they have problems actually holding the shot, innit? Let me see if I can find you one more, if I can, yeah. While this runs, do you mind? Press one if you like me to just do one more of these? I'll show you my all-time favorite one. It's very recent. Hold on. It was in Birmingham. I love this one. It's with another boxer as well. I love this one, but I'm not sure I can find it. Oh, I nearly did. Nearly found it straight away. It's fucking amazing, man. It's amazing. I'm not sure if I can, but oh my god, do-rag guy really is like, he's a meme, isn't he, guys? Just give me a sec, yeah. I'm just gonna have one crack at finding this. I've got a minute. I'm gonna play this video. Just give me a sec. I'm just trying to find. In fact, let's just have a look. We can do it on here. Hold on. It's in Birmingham. One of my favorite ones ever. And it's a massive bodybuilder, and he starts picking on this guy, but unfortunately he's picked on the wrong guy. I can't find it at the minute. I'll have a search for that on the other screen, and I'll see if I can find it. And if I can't, I can't. Let me go through your comments. Sorry about that. Yeah. Zekan's out in 98 says there's zero chance. There's zero chance that do-rag is a boxer. Absolutely no way. If it's proven, he'll do a Kelly Maloney. Let me just, honestly, God, hold on. How do I search this? Hold on. See if I can find it. Let's go through some of the comments in the meantime. I will try and find it. So you know, guys, no, I'm really terrible at doing things. Okay, right. Let's get some stuff up. Let's go through some comments and do this simultaneously. It's about where your head lands. I mean, he could have died. He could have died. Yeah. Search Julian's Wikipedia. They added it to his record. They did. I mean, there's Julius Francis back in the ring. I'm just going through some stuff here. I do want to find this. This is it's not as good as this one, but it's better. Keep getting your comments in. Keep getting your comments in. Do-Rag Man. Does anybody know? Has he been found yet? Has Do-Rag Man been found yet? I tell you what. In the meantime, while I'm waiting to try and find the one I want to find, I'll show you this one. Shout out to all these racists on Twitter. This one made the news recently. Shout out to all these racists out on Twitter. You guys know what we're talking about. You know these racists on Twitter. You know these. Jason says he's still laying there. Blue Do-Rag Man is still laying there. Bomba Clarty. All right, hold on. What about this one, innit? You know, listen, I'm a conservative, yeah, as you guys know, yeah. But you know, sometimes you get these GB News watchers, and they take it a little bit too far, innit? These GB News watchers, and they start talking that greasy shit, innit? Do you know what I mean? They start talking that greasy shit. I've had a couple of guys on Twitter tell me shit like, "You should be grateful for the British Empire." Bro, are you mad? They talk some crazy shit. This is what happens when they start talking that shit on the train, innit?
What?
Fucking racist. You fucking racist. Yeah. You deserve that. You're black. What does that mean?
Oh my God!
What does black have to do with anything? What does being black have to do with anything?
This is popular.
What's popular?
This is popular.
Sir, you're crazy. Yeah, I think he's crazy. You're a fucking lunatic, and I can guarantee you're not 100% white. You are not white. You fucking.
What you got about that? He got KO'd. Yeah, Seconds Out says, saw you schooling that Marcher. Marcher, the thing about Marcher, he's a guy on Twitter, innit, who's like quite big on Twitter. Marcher is this. I thought, look, I don't want to say nothing, but this is what I've been trying to explain to Marcher, innit? You know, listen, I'm a conservative, yeah? I'm a conservative. You guys know that, but listen, some of these conservatives do come out and say some fucking crazy ass shit in it about black people in the British Empire and stuff. Bro, keep that shit to yourself on social media. Be careful with the stuff you put out on social media, because when you start saying that dumb shit out in public, stuff like this happens. And this guy was saying some crazy shit, man.
Yes!
Why get the shower? Why get the shower? Shouting does not make a point. Why do you think
I found the video, by the way, guys. I found the video I want to show you. But look, this is what it is, isn't it? Look. And you know what it is, yeah? If you know one thing, yeah, about my people, yeah? Right? Some people say, yo, black people, they give my people criticism. We're the best sucker punchers on earth. Facts. We are the best sucker punchers. This guy should have known what was coming. This setup on a sucker punch is one of the best I've ever seen. These guys would have knocked me. Do you think me? I would have had any chance against these guys. The way they set this up is fucking sick. Look how they set this up. They would have knocked me out the same way. You think because I'm a boxer that would have meant anything? No, I'd have been laying on my floor, swallowing my tongue like this guy. Look at how they did this. This is so clever how they did this. Watch this. This is so clever. Look at the biggest one. The biggest one gets up first. And look, this dumb fuck locks eyes, which you should never do. The eyes don't punch you in the face. I do it. We all do it. But we shouldn't do it. Don't look at the eyes, yeah, because the eyes. C-Work says Ultra has a Caucasian voice box. I do, but I have West Indian hands. I've got West Indian hand speed. Don't worry about that, bro. We've got West Indian hand speed. It must be all that Ancona. It must be all that Ancona hot pepper sauce that I've been eating over the years. But I've got West Indian hand speed, so it is what it is. Now, if you look at it here, yeah, this dude here, he locks eyes with him, and he's the big guy. He thinks it's the big guy's gonna do something. And look at this, look. But the big guy walks off, and he thinks he's cool. And look. It's the one in the middle. Bro, that was sick. Bro, don't fuck with these guys. These guys are on some military maneuvers. They know what they're doing. They've done this before. Bro, I'm not delusional, yeah? Oh, I'm a boxer. That would happen to me. Bro, I would have got smashed. That was wicked, bro. Look at the big guy. The big guy's, I call him the decoy. He completely faked this guy out, look. And it's the middle guy the whole time who's going to be the hitman. Look, he thinks it's him. But it was him. The hitman's the one in the middle. Right, let me show you my favorite of all time. That's not my favorite. That was just an appetizer. Let me show you my favorite one. That was a decoy, wasn't it? I don't think they planned it. Planned it, but I think they knew one of them was going to hit him, but I don't know, man. It just worked out the way it worked out. That's why he got flattened. He got flattened. Nobody would ever see that. I would never see that. I would have got flattened exactly the same way, you know. I'd have got flattened exactly the same way. It is what it is. Right. Let's move on quickly. Yeah, tag team settings. It was a decoy, wasn't it? That one's better. In terms of teamwork, people say, oh, that's better than the Julius Francis one. That one was brilliant, that was. Nobody would have come back from that one. Nobody. But this is my favorite one ever. This is the one that gives me hope, yeah, that one day I may win a fight again. And as I say that, I've just fucking lost it. Hold on, I'll find it. I've just dragged it on the screen. As soon as I dragged it on the screen, here it is. This is my favorite one ever. Hold on, let me get to it now. Make sure it's on the screen. Let me stop sharing. And let me just share this one. This one's the best one ever. For me personally. Right, let me just get this up here. Bosh. Kaboom. All right, look at this one. This is a classic tough guy roadman who spent too much time lifting weights in the gym. This is a straight one-on-one now, yeah? Straight one-on-one.
Come fight. See, come and box at Sweatbox. I box at Sweatbox. Come to the gym. Let me fight you up. I am not going to.
So let me just tell you quickly what's going on. So the guy in his shirt off is antagonizing and trying to start a fight with this guy in the white and black shirt, who's a boxer, yeah? Now my man here is filming himself. Can you see? This guy on the right is filming himself. He's got himself on FaceTime or he's got himself on live. And he's saying that this guy here on the left is a pussy. He don't want to fight me. He's a coward. You know, queuing the, oh, he looks scared. He shook. He looks scared. Just watch what happens. Watch what happens. This is my favorite one ever.
Come fight. See, come and box at Sweatbox. I box at Sweatbox. Come to the gym. Let me fight you up. I am not going to fight you in public. I'll fight you in the gym.
Did you hear that kick? Did you hear that fucking kick he got? Too much weightlifting in the gym, you know. There's a few people get confused, innit? They think lifting weights. Lifting weights is good for being strong, innit? It's good. It's definitely got its place, innit? But you got to be careful, innit? If you talk that shit, I mean, the kick was unbelievable. Look, and like I said, I'm not saying that I could do this, yeah? And it's true, Games You Love. He offered him to the gym for a fair fight. Fair fight. Come to the gym. I'm not going to fight you in person out on the street. It's a fair fight. Come to the gym and we'll do it. A sweatbox. This guy's filming himself, you know. He's filming himself. And like I said before, it's always the ones that think if you're trying to avoid a fight, you're a pussy, you're scared. You can hear people thinking, oh, he looks scared, this guy. Oh, he looks, because this guy's amping up. And look what happens when he takes the first shot, the big bodybuilder guy. He takes that first shot and he doesn't know what to do. Just look when he gets that first punch. Doesn't know what to do.
Let me fight you up. I'm not going to fight you in public. I'll fight you in the gym.
Oh! Oh, now they want to jump in. But you know what? If he'd have got beaten up by a muscle band guy, do you think those same people would have jumped in and pulled him off? I bet they wouldn't have. Lord, that was a huge kick. But even when he took the first shot, can you see? He didn't know how to react, you know? If you just watch it, he did not know how to react. Sound down. Look at the first shot. He's on his phone and this guy just steps in because he sees that he's got his back turned. Then he thinks, fuck it, I'm doing this now. And then look, bang, gives him one shot, knocks him to the floor. Look, watch this. Look, watch when he gets up, does nothing. Look, he does nothing. He takes another shot, does nothing, just walks into another one. All he did, all that muscle, took 3 shots. 3 shots, look. 1, 2, 3. Still doing nothing. Just walks into a big one. And then let's hear this kick one more time. Of course. Standard, isn't it?
He actually was warned.
I'm not going to fight you in public. I'll fight you in the gym.
Let me hear that kick one more time. I'm sorry, man. This is for all the little guys like me who are too scared to defend themselves. Let me hear that kick one more time. This is for all the little guys like me who are too scared to defend themselves. You feel me? Even though I go boxing. Oh, now they want to jump in. All right. But even a lost, would they jumped in though? I bet they wouldn't have. That's my favorite one. That is my favorite one of all time. Like, that's my favorite. That's my go-to. Every time I'm lacking a little bit of confidence, that's my go-to to remind myself. Sometimes these people do talk shit that they can't cash out. But like I said, it is what it is. Yeah, Lamb Chok said it's like a sound effect from a kung fu film. It's bad, you know. Tiny Tempest says we need to find bodybuilder guy and put together an exhibition with Do-Rag Man. Do you know what? Do-Rag Man. Do you know what? Do-Rag Man. I don't know, man. You know what? I don't know. I want to go with Do-Rag Man, you know. I want to go with Do-Rag Man. If I pick between Do-Rag Man and that bodybuilder guy, I'm gonna put all my chips on Do-Rag Man. I think Do-Rag Man got a bit about him. And to be fair, you know, for Do-Rag Man, yeah, there was a Big Wada says the man took a penalty on his chest. The thing with Do-Rag Man was there was all kinds of stuff that was going on in it. There was all kinds of stuff, like there was Wadi Camacho was there was people everywhere, there was people in the middle, there's people getting involved. So there was a lot going on. This was just a straight one-on-one. This was just a straight one-on-one, isn't it? You guys, if you want to see it one more time, press 1 and then we're going. If you don't, let me know. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe for all the entertainment that I provided you today. If you don't, you know what will be happening. He's a real tough guy.
What's going to happen now? It's dead. You're dead.
There you go. That's what will be happening if you don't hit the like or subscribe button. It is what it is. Someone said that bout would be dubbed as Knights of the... That's cold. That bout would be... That would bout as Knight of the Elves and Knight of the Elves. Do-Rag Man versus bodybuilder. Yeah, I'm not being for real. I've got bodybuilder. Knights of the Elves. Yeah. Get Mick Hennessy on that. Get Ben Shalom on that. That's the kind of card Ben Shalom will put on. Don't lie, innit? If you saw Do-Rag Man, yeah? If you saw Do-Rag Man and the bodybuilder go one-on-one, yeah? That would be a Ben Shalom card, innit? Matter of fact, Ben Shalom probably pull one of these fools out and make him fight Fraser Clark. That's the kind of thing Ben Shalom to do. Look, this is the last one. I'll play it through now. Here we go.
Come to the gym, let me fight you up. I am not going to fight you in public. I'll fight you in the gym.
Wow, Sweatbox. That man throwing kicks like he's in a Jackie Chan film. I think that guy's done. What do you guys think? I think the way that guy's maneuvered him, he's done more than boxing. What would you think? He goes, I box at Sweatbox. Press 1 if you think that guy's done something else other than boxing. He has to have. To be that comfortable throwing kicks in the fight, he's done other stuff. There's no way it's just boxing. And that's why I'm giving Bodybuilder the benefit of the doubt there, because the real victim is Bodybuilder, because this guy lied to him about his fighting experience. He just said Sweatbox, but he never mentioned that he's able to use his feet as well. So if you ask me, do Ragman or Bodybuilder, I'm going with Bodybuilder. I think Bodybuilder's the victim here. He was lied to, innit? Guy never told him the real truth about how good he was, innit? He never told him the truth, innit? But he got the truth came to him pretty quick, innit? Truth came to him pretty quick. All right, dudes. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you watching. Have a good evening or an afternoon, next evening. And yeah, maybe we'll do Beterbiev and then maybe we'll all go home and I'll stop making videos again. Take care.